As always, we're gonna give it a quick little second just to make sure that it's live. I see a W in chat. What's up, Poisonous? Good to see you. Hello, hello. Just giving it some time. I should really have like a start screen, and then that way I could like have the start screen going. You know what I mean? Because then I can wait for a few seconds and whatnot, and then I'll be able to know. I'll be able to know kind of like, all right, this is gonna be about 5 minutes. So I'll let it run for 5 minutes or something like that. Just kind of like a brief we're starting type cue. Feel like that'd be kind of dope. All right. Pretty much what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do 2 sets of tier lists. So we're gonna do a tier list for bronze to diamond, as you see right there, and then after the bronze to diamond tier list, I'm gonna reset the tier list, and we're gonna do it again, and we're gonna do it from diamond to one above all, or at least what I feel is best for both sets of tier lists. Now this is going to be a solo tier list. With every single climb that I've done it solo. I don't duo with people. Maybe if it's an alternate account, I'll just play with people just because like if I stream or something like that. But for the most part, when I'm on my main account, I don't play with anybody. I solo. And so again, this is gonna be my version of solo queue tier list for season 2. We're gonna do bronze to diamond first, then we are going to do diamond to one above all. So if you guys are looking for the best characters to climb with, you are in the right place, in my opinion at least. What's up, Clouded Crow? Good to see you. Yes, we are live. Ringar, hello, hello. Good to see you. Bert, how you doing? Diamond is high rank. A lot of people say Celestial is beginning of high rank. Those are people that are probably there's a word for it. Not entitled. What is the word for it? They do it in League of Legends too. People don't think Diamond's a high rank, and I'm like, bro, you're goofballing. What is the word for it? Not entitled. Superiority complex. There you go. I feel like anybody who says that when stats clearly show that it's a high rank, like there's no, it's objectively a high rank. I feel like anybody who says that's probably elitist or, you know, something like that. Personally, in my opinion, Diamond is like average rank. I mean, it's still high rank, don't get me wrong, but to anybody higher than that, obviously that's not high rank. But to like the average player base, Diamond's high rank. And then from Diamond, usually it's about Celestial 2 is kind of where that gap is. And then from like Celestial 2 plus, that's kind of where it kind of breaks off again. But no mistaking, Diamond is definitely a high rank. So if you're Diamond, do not be ashamed. That is definitely a high rank. Wait. Definitely. At gold, I believe, is like average. If we're going off stats. All right. Let's get into it. Let's get started. We got this. Let's roll. So the first character that we have up is going to be Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock, I've actually seen quite a bit towards the end of season. I've seen Adam Warlock a lot at the end of season 1.5, and I'm starting to see him even more, at least in low ranks. I don't really see him too much in high ranks. I don't know what's going on with that, but I see a lot of like low rank Adam Warlock players. Personally, I still don't think he's that great. Like you have to have characters that generally are not running in repeatedly. So like he's a very good stationary type of healer, like Loki, where it's like you don't really have your team running around in crazy places, and it's more of like a controlled environment. The reason for that is because of the simple fact that his heal takes 5 seconds to come back, and should someone, you know, screw that up, you just like lost your cooldown. And then his Soulbound, I believe they buffed that to like 20-second cooldown. 40, there it was. I was like, 20 doesn't seem that big. What am I like? But they buffed it to, or they nerfed it to 40. So like, he's still playable, don't get me wrong, But he didn't really change much from my other tier list because, again, he just requires game knowledge. And usually if you're in bronze going to diamond, you don't really have too much game knowledge. What you learn from bronze to diamond, in my experience, is just how to play your character and how to play your character to a decent extent. You don't really know how to play the game yet. Once you hit diamond, then you figured out how to play the game. But like on your way there, you're still learning way too much about the game, and playing a character that's this character is just probably not the best that you can do. Your team doesn't know how to play with it. You most likely might not know how to play with it. It's just a waste of time, in my opinion. And I love Adam Warlock, but remember, this is about playing by yourself, and this is about climbing these ranks. If you want to climb the ranks, I wouldn't suggest playing Adam Warlock. And I said that at every single tier list, as much as I like the character. I will say, obviously, you can play any character that you want to play. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Play any character that you want to play. If you enjoy Adam Warlock, play Adam Warlock. I'm not saying don't play him. But if you're looking to gain rank, especially quickly, it's not going to be with this character. Unless you play with an actual squad, or your team, again, is very constrained with how they play. And honestly, that's not really a thing in bronze to diamond. Teams are like everywhere. Like they are everywhere. So realistically speaking, this character will only thrive if you have a stationary type of team, which is like a poke comp like Namor. Can't think right now. Namor, like Hawkeye, like these characters that just don't move a lot. And even then, should you get dove, it's a wrap. So not really worth it, in my opinion, unless you love the character. Okay, let's move on. I don't want to make it too long, so we are going to chit chat. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to read your comments. I'm still reading them, but I just don't want to make it too long because I'm going to do two tier lists at the same time. So I'm going to try to like make it a little bit smoother for everybody without halting up too much, but I will stop and pause from time to time. Let's move on to Black Panther. So Black Panther, I actually been playing a lot of this character recently. I've been playing a lot of melee characters recently. I've been really enjoying them. So like Spider-Man, Black Panther, Iron Fist, no real reason. It's just, I felt like, because I've climbed 4 accounts. My main 5 accounts. I climbed 5 accounts. And I pretty much used the same characters to do it, more or less. And I wanted a breath of fresh air. So I've been playing a lot of characters that I don't really have in my lineup, just for the fact that they're fun. So I've been playing some Black Panther, I've been playing some Spider-Man, I've been playing some Iron Fist, Wolverine. You know, these melee characters, and I've been telling myself I can't swap from them. I have to play melee characters no matter what. Black Panther is one of those characters that are very, very hard to deal with. But the thing is, the character kind of just tickles. Like, you have to be very good at timing in order for this character to work. And obviously, if we are in bronze to diamond, we don't have that knowledge yet. Like, we didn't learn it yet. People that are in bronze to diamond, I'm not saying you guys suck, not saying you guys can't learn, but it's clear that there's some skills that you lack when you are in those ranks. And one of the skills that you lack is timing. The game is very fast paced. And so this is not even just a low rank problem. This is a high rank problem too, to be fair. But the game is very high paced, which means that everybody wants to just go in, combo, do whatever they want. They don't pause. If you watch any game in bronze to diamond, even a little bit higher than it, if you want to, you'll realize a lot of these people that play these characters don't pause. What they'll do is they'll go in, do some stuff, bop, bop, boom, bang, bop, it, boom, and then they'll like run up the wall, and then they'll stay in the fight, and then they'll come back, and then like there's no chill. And either what they do is they either are successful and then they get away and they let their cooldowns come back, which is why they pause, or they get KO'd. They very rarely pause because the situation that they're trying to go for demands it. And so this is why a lot of people feel like, oh, Spider-Man's not good, Black Panther's not good, Iron Fist's not good, Namor could just dumpster him, and Peni dumpsters him, and there's counters. No, there's no true counter in the Marvel Rivals. The true counter is something that is a point and click. If you can point and click a target and it's not going to whiff, that is a true counter. There's not really anything in this game where if you click the button, it's happening. Even Emma Frost, you can dodge it. A lot of people I know are frustrated at that character from time to time, but that character can be dodged. You can dodge her grab. It is a dash. So when you're thinking about players that just constantly run in, and don't really assess the situation, you run into a lot of people that feel like the characters are bad. And it's not about the character being bad, it's about the player not understanding how to play the game. And again, this is not just a low rank thing, it's just more prevalent between bronze and diamond than it is between grandmaster and one above all, but it's still there. A lot of the times what you'll notice is like players that tend to play characters like these in really high ranks like Eternity or one above all will generally switch if it doesn't work. And it's not a bad thing that they switch, but it just takes way more effort to get it to work. If they don't really know how to do it, then just swap it. Like, it is a skill to learn how to play into it, but you're never gonna just straight counter someone because you play Namor. That's not how it works. Like, if the player is better than you, they'll still beat you. It doesn't matter who you pick. And I think that's something that the community as a whole needs to remember, is that a counter is not actually a real counter. It's just on paper, it's a counter. But in game, it's based off how skillful the player is. So back to what I was saying with Black Panther. The dude just kind of tickles. You know what I mean? He doesn't really do a lot of damage. He's very ticklish. The thing though, is that in lower ranks, people generally do not pay attention to who is attacking who. I wish I had clips because it's actually hilarious. I will be on a healer. So what I like to do a lot of the times when I play Black Panther, y'all know I'm a boomer, so I don't really like doing everything super fancy, but I just do what works. So what I'll do is I'll tag them and I'll just run at the support like this, and like nobody's helping them, and then I'll just dash, and then I'll probably throw another spear and then dash and get in there KO. That doesn't happen in high ranks. They'll pay attention, but between bronze and diamond, the fact that people don't pay attention to Black Panther, or they're like, bro, this character is just way too hard to hit, I give up, I'm not gonna focus him, good luck. Like, that's kind of the mentality. If it's too hard, people ignore. And because he's very hard to catch, people ignore him. And if he is ignored, he wipes the team. That being said, I think this character is a fantastic solo character. If you want to play Black Panther, I definitely think play Black Panther. This isn't more or less because Black Panther is extremely strong. The thing is, players don't know how to deal with him. And if a player doesn't know how to deal with the character, it obviously is a strong character. Now, that doesn't mean I think they should nerf Black Panther. I actually think he's in a pretty good spot. It just sucks when you play him into like multiple heals because you don't really have a way to play the game. But I digress. That's where I think Black Panther should be. Very solid character, very fun character to play. I've been playing him a lot. Yeah, I think he's great. I think he's great. More often than not, even if you do screw up, like let's just say I go in, boom, bam, I mess up my combo, whatever, but I get away. That's good enough because you just cause everybody to turn around and look at you, which means that your whole entire team can probably finish everybody off. So he's effectively a pseudo dive tank. He goes in and does what a dive tank does, but just does a little bit more damage. And is way harder to hit. It is harder for you to KO yourself by messing up than it is for them to be good enough to catch you messing up, if that makes sense. So anyway, let's move on. Great conversation. Again, I will be reading your comments. Go ahead and write in. Go ahead. I'm just not going to be slowing down too much because we do have 2 lists to go through. But we could talk about it when I don't lose my train of thought. Next up, we have Black Widow. So Black Widow has always been a character I've liked a lot. I will play her no matter what rank it is, if it calls for it. And generally speaking, I like to play it into Namor because Namor can't reach Black Widow for the most part. I mean, he can, but like realistically, it's very hard for him to do. A lot of these characters that are very poke heavy, it's hard for them to hit her if she's super far away. That being said, your positioning has to be like godlike and your aim has to be godlike. On top of that, your game knowledge has to be godlike. On top of that, it's still not enough. So I don't know what they plan to do with this character, and I say every time, even if the player is good at sniping, the character still falls short. And it's unfortunate. I think the best way to go about this is pull an Overwatch and just make her like Widowmaker. And in terms of that, I mean, allow her to play the game even when she's not sniping. I don't know how they're gonna do this. They can't make her cooldown on kicks shorter. They can't, like, if they do that and allow this to be short, she's gonna be securing, she's gonna secure KOs like crazy, especially in high rank. They could give her like a little mini clip, something like Star-Lord. But the thing is, it shouldn't do a lot of damage. I think the best way to approach this, and I could be completely wrong because I'm not a game developer, the best way to approach this is allow her to use the primary fire non-scope as a way to secure a KO. It's not a way to do damage. So it shouldn't be doing boatloads of like Star-Lord damage because she's just in your face and she's lasering you down. No. It should be, I think, a small clip, and it should reward players because they landed a bop, but it didn't KO them, right? So if I do this, okay, well, she was already low, unfortunately. If I do this, I should be able to swap and just like laser her down from there. That'll make her a little bit better because everything just moves too quickly in this game and everything is just weird sizes. And when they reload, they have different animations, their heads tilt, their bodies move. The maps are so all over the place, terrain can be destroyed. Like there's no consistency to be able to snipe correctly with this character. So giving her something where it's like I can handle an inconsistent situation while still not making her a crazy threat at close range would be okay, I think, in my opinion. Yeah, you'd probably get KO'd if she just happens to do this and like land a shot and then you go, land a shot and then you go non-scoped and then laser. But maybe just balance it so you can't do that, right? Maybe balance it so that, okay, I land a body shot and you lower my clip, but it doesn't leave you anywhere other than like very low, because that's not the purpose of the no scope fire. The no scope fire is supposed to get you to be KO'd if I snapped you with a headshot, but I didn't, so I shouldn't be able to just not scope and laser you down like that. Like it should leave you, that is what it should leave you after the clip, and it forces her to reload. By that point you should be able to be healed, and you know, she shouldn't be this close anyway. If she is, she's probably going to get KO'd regardless. So I don't know what they plan to do. I know one of the main strengths of this character is that she has the ability to bust buildings extremely quickly. This is something that a lot of people don't really notice about characters, but I do because I play the game way too much, is that you're able to some characters have the ability to break things rather quickly. Like you should never be able to break anything that quickly, but she can. So it allows her to reposition and get into really crazy spots for free. You can argue that that is a very unbalanced mechanic, which is why they don't really want to do anything. But I don't know. I think for the average gameplay experience, she would need something like that to make her more, accessible to people that aren't extremely good at sniping, because she is a fun character and I do enjoy her, but at the end of the day I can bust my butt like crazy and still not provide enough for my team to push point, or still not provide enough for my team to do anything. She's really only there if you can play with other people and they understand who to focus. That being said, if you put like the amplifier from Rocket or the amplifier from Mantis, she will one shot. So again, it's very funky, I think, in terms of where they're going with this character, and I think she may need a rework, and or she just may need like a reassessment of like what is her goal in this game, because she doesn't really have a clear defined goal that another character can't really, you know, figure that out. So I think that's kind of her struggle issues, and I think that she just deserves to be under not worth. If you love characters, play the character, like I always say, but I don't think she's just worth it, in my opinion. Next we got Cap. So Cap, one of my main characters, you guys know this. I really love Cap. You guys see me play him on stream. I obviously played him during my climbs. I didn't play him during my second tank climb because it's just pointless. Like, why would I play an alternate account and use my main characters to climb it? It's troll. It's like, obviously I'm going to get back to the rank that I was because I'm that rank with the characters that I know. So it's kind of pointless. I don't really get when people do that. Like, why smurf with a character you know? It's kind of troll. But I guess bragging rights. But I really love this character. One thing that flaws this character is he doesn't pack enough power. And it could be a good thing because this guy has a lot of freedom. No pun intended. This guy has a lot of freedom with how you play. And so a character with a lot of freedom shouldn't have a lot of power. That being said, if he catches you slipping, he catches you slipping. Now, in previous lists, I would say, I think I first started to say he's not worth playing. Then the next season I said that he is kind of like okay to play, but because it's hard, it's really hard. He's like Black Panther, but like no damage. And his hitboxes are very, very small. However, he is very, very hard to deal with. However, there are characters that will just make this character unable to be played. Like this character has a true counter, and one of his true counters is Namor. It's genuinely unplayable to play into Namor if the Namor is just okay. Like you didn't have to be a good Namor. Black Panther and Spider-Man, it's okay because you're so fast. But when it comes to Namor with Cap is not as fast as those characters. he will get popped. And so you don't have a lot of leeway to duck and dodge. What you do have is a shield. You can block a lot of things with this shield, but if they all focus you, the shield breaks, and it's very easy to make it break. So I don't really, and I think they recently nerfed it too. So this one's kind of rough. And I don't want to be biased because I will thrive with this character, but it's me. And I know that in higher ranks, I don't even play him anymore because it's just not worth playing the character. But it's like, if you love him, yeah, but I'm not. It's just pointless. I don't want to struggle. Jesus. This one's rough, dude. He doesn't really do anything. He literally is a body. And should your team ignore that, or should their team ignore that body, or he just doesn't accomplish anything, he's just running around. And in higher ranks, when he runs around, people ignore him. In lower ranks, when he runs around, people either focus him and he just kind of runs around, or they ignore him in a way where he can secure KOs on stranded targets. And because there's a lot less synergy in lower ranks, I'm gonna say he's decent. I'm not gonna say he's just insanely great at solo play, because that's not true. But he is a decent pick because you can get away with so much because people are very uncoordinated in Bronze and Diamond. It's actually ridiculous how much you can get away with. You guys have seen me play Captain America, and I will stall a cart and just jump on it. I mean, I do that in high ranks too, don't get me wrong, but like, I'm good at it at this point. So like, I can do it. But like, you don't even have to be good with Cap to do that in lower ranks. I'm just jumping on cart and they can't hit me, whether it's on console or PC, people cannot aim. Whether it's high rank or low rank, people cannot aim sometimes. So I'm just doing this and I'm just stalling the cart for 4 minutes and I win. I was able to stall a game for 12 minutes and I won. It shouldn't happen. People should be smart enough to be like, oh, he's playing Cap, let me swap to Namor. Let me swap to Scarlet Witch, which he cannot avoid. Let me swap to Cloak and Dagger. But they don't do that in lower ranks. And even in higher ranks, some people just got too much ego and they don't swap when all they need to do is swap and you beat them. So I'm gonna say it's just decent. And again, it's kind of similar to Black Panther, where it's not really the character's inherently strong. It's just people don't really understand how to deal with them yet. And even the game's been out for 2 seasons, people still ride that struggle bus on dealing with the character. All right, let's move on to Cloak and Dagger. Oh boy, this character is rough, bro. Iron Fist counters Cap now? No. Iron Fist counters a bad Cap, but that character doesn't counter Cap. You have to know how to run from Iron Fist. A lot of people don't know how to run from that character, so they just get perma KO'd by him. But if you know how to run from Iron Fist, he can't catch you. With a lot of characters, actually. With the Cloak and Dagger,
get ready. Here come the bad guys.
That's rough. Okay, so Cloak has a problem. Well, Cloak and Dagger has a problem. And that problem is her heals are very lackluster if she doesn't have her 2 abilities. That being said, she has infinite range on the heals. So with that in mind, her healing is actually pretty gnarly. And then she has the ability to pretty much fight everybody 1v1. They also buffed the healing for her abilities, I think it was this one. And then they also buffed the damage amplification from this. So if she hits you with that, she's gonna do more damage to you. Now, if we take that as a utility, if we take her kit as more of a utility rather than just a 1v1 scenario, her kit is ridiculously strong. The fact that she can blind an entire team just like that is kind of insane. And she does a lot of damage to the targets, you know, when she does that. Her ultimate as well is very, very good, especially after the change that they made on Season 2 patch. So they like, again, buffed her even more, and him. They buffed them even more to the point where it was like they were already strong, but let's just make them stronger. I think Cloak and Dagger is a staple. and it's a character that can kind of just do whatever she wants and get away with anything that she wants to get away with. Should you run at Cloak and Dagger and she sees you and she pops you with this, you're not winning that fight. You're losing that fight. Should you get to her, she'll just like cloak out, and like it takes a lot of effort to get to her. Should you get to her, she'll just pop this down and then she'll just straight up fight you 1v1. On top of that, if you guys don't know how her heal works, her heal is actually an AoE heal whenever she primarily does a primary fire. So I'll show you real quick. So usually her heals kind of work like this, where she hits the target and it just goes to the target, but she actually does AoE fire. So you'll notice, you see on the ground, that circle. It might be hard to see with my game capture card, but, and the window size. But you see how I'm hitting this guy but healing her, or healing the bot over there? She has AoE heals. So if you put this on top of the amplification heal that she has from her other ability, like this character's a monster. So all this to say, I still think she's a very, very solid pick and still one of the most broken characters in the game, because she has the ability to have a lot of utility while also having a lot of potential to just straight up fight people. So that's where I think she deserves to be. What's up, Vincent? Good to see you. Dreadhead, hello. Hello. All right. As I said, I am reading chat, but unless there's something specific to me, I probably am not going to respond, just because I want to keep the list like moving for people that are watching it in the, watching it in the VOD. I'm going to be doing 2 of them, so I don't want it to be like 4 hours long. All right, moving on to Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange pretty much has been nerfed repeatedly, but a lot of people also forget that he gets indirect buffs every single time that he's nerfed. So there's a time that they nerfed his damage and they buffed his shield, or not his shield. I'm sorry, they buffed his HP. Then there was a time that they nerfed something else. I think it was his range on this ability, but then they buffed, I think, his survivability once more, like the regeneration of his shield. So people might be thinking this character's always nerfed, but he actually gets indirect buffs every single time that he's nerfed. It's called like a push and pull type of balance. And so regardless, I think this character is still extremely strong, and it's still one of the best characters in the game, hands down. He has the ability to pretty much solo anybody, even other tanks, unless the tank is ridiculous. He has the ability to pretty much wipe a team whenever he has ultimate. Even if he doesn't have ult, he still has the ability to wipe a team. His flight, you cannot hear. So this guy can just kind of hover in some really great spots and then pop his ult, and he just gets everybody because you couldn't hear him floating above you anyway. You can hear the initial ascent, but you can't hear him floating. And obviously if there's shots being fired repeatedly, you're not going to pay attention to that. Or if people are talking to you in your ear, you're not paying attention to that. So basically he's like a silent assassin as a tank. Also, he's an anchor character, so he's a little bit more beefy than the regular characters. I'm sorry, he's not an anchor character, but he has a lot of HP for not being an anchor character. That's what I meant to say. So, like Cap, as an example, is he an anchored character? Oh, he is an anchor character now. Okay, yeah, he is. He's anchor with Scarlet. Okay, I'm out of it today. I didn't get that much sleep. So he's the anchor character. I was wondering why he has 700 HP. I was like, that's kind of wild to not be an anchor. So he is an anchor, so he gets a bonus HP buff, which clearly means that we're gonna probably have to nerf him because he gets that bonus HP buff. Again, a lot of the stuff that Strange goes through literally is because he gets buffed, so they have to nerf him at the same time. That's literally how this character has been balanced. There's not one time, I think, where they just straight up say, we're gonna nerf Strange. We need to. There's not really a downside to this character other than his range. He can't really hit from that far, and it's not infinite. I'm trying to show it, but I keep hitting him. So it's not infinite. As you see, it goes away. So this guy's not a sniper. However, he can deal with a lot. If somebody's flying and you're really good at Doctor Strange, he'll just fly up, fight you for a little bit, smack you a few times, pop you. He's very good at being a defensive for like Magneto, Star-Lord, like a lot of these characters that can do things to you. He's good at just kind of blocking it. Pretty much just a great all-around character and easily can stomp games. Like, it's actually insane how hard this character can stomp, especially if you main this character. So with that being said, we're gonna pop this guy into S. Very good solo character. He's also one of those characters so people understand your game plan. Even if they don't understand how the character works, they know that this guy has a shield and what to do when you play with it. They know that when you ult, what to do, attack the people that he just ulted. Like, he's very self-explanatory, and characters like that are very good for solo gameplay because you don't need to tell people what you're doing. It is obvious what you're doing. So, very good character in that regard. Next, we have Emma Frost. So, Emma Frost is interesting. Usually when new characters drop, we don't really see them a lot in ranked, especially in high ranked, unless people just are very good at the character. If anybody decides to just take a new character into ranked, they're kind of griefing, and that goes for like every game that drops new characters. You shouldn't do that. You don't know what you're doing. That being said, let's assume people do know what they're doing, and not to the highest, because remember, this is a bronze to diamond tier list. Emma struggles a lot. And she struggles for the same reason that people don't know how to analyze when they should be doing things and why. People just kind of walk in and, you know, this is what they do, right? Or they'll swap form and they'll just do, you know, or what they'll do is they'll swap form and then wait for like a Spider-Man to come into you. Like, a lot of her gameplay is really just around you coming to her. And if you outrange her, she's cooked. Yeah, she has a shield, but like, bro, if everybody touches that shield, it explodes. And if you outrange her and she goes into diamond, she's not getting to you. So, as like crazy as this character might appear, she's actually not that strong. She's a good character, don't get me wrong, but she's not as strong as people think. The thing about this game, as I said before, is people are very adverse to just running and gunning. I'm in there, I'm going super fast, I'm button mashing, woo, apple. But bro, if you go against anyone who actually takes their time playing the match, you'll realize a lot of these characters are not as strong as you think. And a lot of these characters really only thrive because you keep running into them, doing the same thing over and over without learning your lesson. Emma Frost is one of those characters. She has very poor straight up 1v1 potential up close. If she doesn't have her diamond form. If she does have her diamond form, she literally is a melee character, so she can't really catch you. So the only way you're getting caught is if you're out of position. Yeah, she can grab and kick the tank and whatever, but like, why are you that close in the first place? And once she uses it, she's a sitting duck. Also, the crystal can be avoided. Like, that is a skill shot. If you just dodge it, she can't get you with the crystal. And if you you can dodge the grab as well. It's a dash. One thing I noticed is, for some reason, it doesn't even matter what rank it is. I think it's this game in particular, I don't know, people just get like, as an example, if I pull this crystal, all you gotta do is run away out of the circle and then it goes away. But like, there's something that happens in this game where people end up in really poor situations, and instead of running away to disengage and re-engage back, they'll just sit there and like try to fight. It like mind boggles me. I'm lying, it's not just this game. There's a lot of games that people do that, but it mind boggles me. Why are you guys fighting in the danger zone? Just back up. Come in. Like when people fight an Invisible Woman's ult, or people fight when Emma does this. It's like, bro, go hide for a second and come back. Why are you trying to, what are you doing? I will say this ult's pretty nasty, I'm not gonna lie, but again, it could be blocked. So, and it could be averted just by hiding behind a wall. And it's not a lenient ult either. If you hide behind any type of wall, this is not clearing it. Like, you actually have to be out of the wall. It's pretty much the same as her laser. Like, if the laser's blocked, so is her ult. That being said, I think she's, again, a solid character. I'm gonna just put her at doable. She requires way too much game knowledge. I know that one's kind of debatable. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. But just from my experience, I have yet to have an Emma Frost be a problem for me or my team. Ever. And one of the main reasons is she doesn't do anything. It's like she's a worse Doctor Strange. And again, I like her kit. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, she's unbalanced and she's like, she needs a butt. I'm not saying any of that. It's just each character has their own niche to fill. But because Doctor Strange is so strong, he is better at doing everything she is. He's that strong. So it's like, why play her when you could just play Doctor Strange? I don't get it. You know, like if you're really trying to win games, I mean. Obviously they're different in terms of kit style. But in my opinion, I think she just requires way too much game knowledge to figure out at these ranks, and it's just not worth playing her right now. If you love her, play her, you will get better at her and you will obviously learn. But just right now, there's just way too much to focus on, and you have to learn how to play team fights. You gotta learn how to play with your team. You gotta learn when to do things and why, and it's just way too much to like cycle through your brain when you have so much of the game to learn anyway. Like there's way too many characters and interactions that you could be focusing on than trying to figure out how to play Emma Frost specifically, in my opinion. Next we have Groot. Oh boy, Groot. Groot. So anytime there's a character that can break the game, it is a character that is extremely strong. When Groot puts up walls, he effectively breaks the game. He's doing something that no other character can do, and he's making it so that no character can play how they want to play. Whenever a character says, hey, you cannot play the game how you want to play the game, buddy, that is when a character is already just inherently strong as a character. Groot being able to wall off people, especially when some maps are very close quarters and they do it intentionally, obviously, where like the dude literally just wall up the whole section, or what he can do is he can wall up the wall, and so people walk through the corridor, they're getting freaking lashed to death. Like this or lashed to KO. This guy is like ridiculous. His hits pack a really strong punch. He has a great ability to like just blow people up with his wall. He has a great team fight ability to just pop everybody. He is extremely strong. What I will say is the downside to this character is that if you don't know what you're doing, or people know how to break walls, you're just kind of screwed. So you do need to know how to play Groot with finesse. It's not just like, oh, I'm just gonna pick up a Groot and yeah, he's strong. That's not how this character works. You are gonna need to put time into this character, and I mean a pretty decent chunk of time. He's unreal. But once you get that time down packed, this character is like, I think, one of the most busted characters in the game. Again, you're telling the enemy team to play a certain way, and when characters tell the enemy team to play a certain way, those characters are already inherently strong, because if the team doesn't know how to play against that, they lose. Right? Like there's no way. Like if I were to play, this is a weird analogy, but work with me. If I were to play basketball, and I'm very good at dunking, but I can't shoot twos, right? But I'm very good at dunking. This means in order to beat me, you need to prevent me from dunking. But if you don't know how to prevent someone from dunking, you will lose. There is no way. You don't win that. You will lose. You cannot stop the person from scoring points. Groot's the same way. Bro, if you don't know how to deal with walls, if you don't know how to play with the team without like being walled off as a tank, as a healer, as like, if you don't know what to do, he effectively cuts off one person of the team because they don't know how to deal with it. If 2 people don't know how to deal with it, that's 2. If 3 people don't know how to do it, that's 3. If 4 people don't, and it keeps going up and up and up, and if the whole team doesn't know how to deal with it, you auto lose. So Groot is one of those characters that are already a very strong character, but even more so depending on how good or bad the enemy team is. I think there will be a character that can just bust those walls in one shot. Like, I don't know what they'll be able to do, but Groot is, the way that they release characters, and they said this already, is they release characters as a way to like balance other characters. That way they don't have to touch them that much, right? So the recent pick of Emma Frost and like almost all the other characters that have CC was obviously to help counter divers. The best way to do that is provide CC so people can't dive, tanks and DPS alike. That being said, there isn't really anything for Groot unless you ult, like with like Scarlet Witch or something like that. Or maybe you play what's his face, Punisher. But there's not many characters that can just blow up a wall. I think they're gonna add a character that can just pop terrain, because his walls don't have the same value as a wall that's like a terrain wall. So like, as an example, what's her face? I forgot her name. Black Widow can't just bust a wall as fast as she can bust it on a real wall. She's not breaking Groot wall like that. So I think they're gonna drop a character that does that. When they do that, he's gonna be less powerful, but because there's not really an answer to this character, and he makes it so that you have to pay acute attention to the map and your surroundings, which people just don't do because they like to run and gun and play at a fast pace, this character kind of thrives. So I think this character deserves to go S easily. Very strong character, not only because the character himself is strong and what he's capable of, but just the fact that he's a skill check, he's a knowledge check. If you don't know what you're doing against him, he wins. And any character that's designed like that is Freelo. Next character that we have is Hawkeye. I really love Hawkeye, and you guys have seen me play this character quite a bit on my stream. I play him on my main, I play him on my alts. I really love this character. Really great character. I love him in the universe as well. It's not even just like the fact that I love the character in general. I do love him just as the character, as a Marvel's character. He's a cool character, comics, movies, love him. That being said, he has an issue, and that issue is range. Now, I don't know if their direction is to make this character have range. He did initially have range, and then they just like took it away from him. I'm not saying that was a bad choice because it was strong, but I just don't know specifically where I don't know specifically where they want his range to be. One of the cool parts about this character, though, if you really want to fire at range, because he has no fall off damage, he just can't charge it from far away. So if I get really far away, I'm unable to charge it. But one of the cool parts about this character is that I can use somebody else to charge it. I have no fall off damage, and in that case, I will get my my crit off, and I'll get the KO. So it's kind of like a cheat sheet to have no fall off damage with this character. But the thing is, this character revolves around getting this charged up. Now you could say, well, Poppin, he's not really much of like a sniper. And he's not a sniper. He's more of like a tank buster, or like just KOing anything. Luna through ult, Cloak and Dagger through ult, Invisible Woman through ult. Like, he's meant to one shot. And this is why he can do it and Black Widow can't. It's harder to aim a projectile that has an arc from very far away than it is for a Black Widow to snipe a hit scan from far away and get a one-shot KO. This is why he has the ability to do so. One of the cool things about this character that I do like is that even if you don't get the head, what you can do is just boom, and that'll be a KO. So realistically, if you do it fast enough, this character could still one-bang you through an ult if he times it well. I don't know how fast this would be. I actually never done it before. Oh no, you gotta be on point. I think you gotta launch it first and then shoot it. It's really hard, but I did it once, and I don't know if it was a freak accident, but I did it once. I think I did the hypersonic arrow first, and then I charged it. I don't remember exactly how it happened. Maybe I did get a dome shot. Maybe my team helped out, but I definitely KO'd someone through their ult without hitting the headshot. That being said, regardless, that's kind of what balances this character. And so I don't think that he's strong, but I don't think that he's weak. It's like he's testing you to see how good you are as a player. Black Widow tests you to see how good as you are as a player, but the thing is, Black Widow's not carrying games. She requires way too much effort, and even so, she doesn't provide anything for her team. Hawkeye, they just also like buffed his ultimate so it comes a lot quicker. The character does a freak ton of damage if he dome shots you. Even if he body shots you, bro, this guy is chunking. There's no fall off damage to this guy. Like this guy is nasty, and I really like that about this character. That being said, again, there's hit or miss. And because of the fact that you can't always be a great Hawkeye player, like anyone who plays this character knows that there's days where you're going to be extremely good, extremely poor, and then like a median. And because you cannot have that consistent gameplay of being good enough to like straight up carry a match, that is a problem. And so that's going to knock him down a few points. And I think it's just a decent solo. I think that is great, but remember, you are going to have off games. You're not going to be amazing every single game. That's just how characters like these play. You're never going to be amazing every single game. But I do like the fact that he's very good at self-peeling. I do like the fact that he can break walls really quick, like like Black Widow by just getting the charge. I also like the fact that you can secure KOs with the charge. Like, the character is very good. He's very universal. He's very good. He has ways to outplay. He's a very, very great character, but he just requires a lot of high performance to really get what you put in. He's like one of the most one-to-one characters of you get out what you put in. And I really appreciate that as a balance for the character. All right, let's move on to Hela.
My realm is the great river into which
So
all others
when it comes to Hela, she's basically another Hawkeye, but her thing is a hit scan. So she's like if Black Widow and Hawkeye had a baby, and you get Hela. Hela, the thing about Hela is like she takes a lot of practice. Like you might think that this character is like ridiculously strong, but this character is not easy. And she's even more so not easy if you run up on her, especially because they nerfed her flying ability. That being said, she provides a lot to her team because she has the ability to have exploding daggers, is what you've seen right there. Also, she has the ability to have crowd control. Also, any character with a wipe ability is GOAT. So she has a wipe ability that can literally KO teams. She can also KO people through the Hela. So she has an ability that can potentially KO through Hela. The problem is that she's inconsistent like Hawkeye, but she doesn't provide anything if you are inconsistent. Hawkeye, low-key, even if you might not be having a great game, he still provides value in some sort. But if you're not having a great game with Hela, you probably are not gonna win that game. And unless you just farm ult. I mean, I guess you can just straight up farm ult and keep team wiping. But there's a lot of counters to this character. But I think for Bronze to Diamond, it happens in high rank too. I'm not even gonna front. But for Bronze to Diamond, a lot of people don't understand how to use cover. And again, it happens high ranks too. A lot of supports just do this. I'm healing, guys. Look at me. And if the Hela can have decent aim, she'll just wait for you to stop and just pop you a few times, and then you're KO'd. And it's like, someone get Hela, or it's like, just use cover, dog. I mean, I don't know what you want from me. It's the same thing for Hawkeye. It's like, what? What are you talking about? Just use cover, bro. Like, she can't hit you if you aren't in cover. That's how shots work. So for Bronze to Diamond, I actually think she's a great character, but again, I think she's kind of bogged down with the fact that it does require the player to play well. And you know, characters like that, when they're hit or miss, generally are not the best characters all the time. Next we have Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner actually got a buff. I forgot what it was too. Oh yeah, it was 2 of the jump. The boy can like move now. My boy jumping. This doesn't really do much. I mean, I guess it does, realistically. He's kind of like Cap. The thing is, this character is huge. Like, he's very big. Characters that are big have a harder time playing the game because they're so massive. Their hitboxes are ginormous. The thing is, when it comes to the Hulk, it's not like he's bad, but I think what people don't understand is that this character, people learn how to play against. This character was picked so much that people just learn how to play against the character. And people are like, well, the Hulk sucks now. The Hulk's not good now. The Hulk. No, people just got better at playing against the Hulk. So you need to be better at playing the Hulk. And I think that's a lot of where like these characters have these issues of being good or bad, is like players don't understand. The game was new. Hulk got away with a lot of nonsense, but as the game gets higher, like, you know, as the game progresses in its years, people become more understanding of how to deal with it. And then characters have an easier time dealing with him as well. So he doesn't actually do anything less effective than he did before. It's just players need to play better. That being said, because we're talking about Bronze and Diamond, this character gets away with whatever he wants to get away with. It's not even a joke. Like, he's in the same category as all the other divers. Because people don't understand how to play against the diver, like supports in Bronze to Diamond, I guess even higher too, but it's not as frequent as I see it in Bronze to Diamond. Like in Bronze to Diamond, when supports get like clapped on, people are like, oh my god, peel for me, bro. Peel for me, bro. Like, I'm losing because you suck at peeling. I need a team. Help me. People in high rank understand that that's not happening. So they'll try to play against it. But the thing is, the support can only do so much. There's a big difference between a support not understanding how to play against a diver versus a support that's trying to play against a diver, and it is extremely difficult. When it's that difficult, you need to help them. They can't do it anymore. But a lot of the times in Bronze to Diamond, supports don't even know how to play against a diver. So you can get away with just like jumping on them and punching them, and good enough. And so, in my opinion, I think that this character for Bronze and Diamond is great. And obviously, as you practice this character more and more, once you get to higher ranks, he'll still be great. I mean, he's still banned. He's still just not having free passes. People still ban this character for a reason, especially because he buffs Namor now. He buffs Iron Man obviously as well. So he still is a threat. He still is a threat. Not only just being an anchor, but just being the Hulk in general. All right, let's move on to the next one. The next one that we have is going to be Johnny Storm. Now, when it comes to this character, I actually always like this character. The thing about this character is that he's a finesse character. He's one of those characters like you're not just about to pick up and just go ham. You have to finesse like crazy. Like there's a difference between a person playing Johnny Storm, or Johnny Storm, I mean that is his name, a person playing Human Torch, and then a god. Like when you see some Lord Human Torch, bro, oh my, those guys are nasty. But you know how many hours you need to put in this character to be that nasty? It's so, you are going to lose a lot before you win with this character, and obviously that brings you down. He's not a character that you can just sit far away and just spam with, like Storm or Iron Man. Like he requires skill. I'm not saying those two characters don't require skill, but like obviously this character requires way more than those two. Let's be real. Like this guy, you need to be good, and with that type of gameplay, it means you have to put more time into the character. So he's not actually an inherently strong character because you have to learn him first. And obviously tier lists are not meant for people who are lords, right? You don't look at a tier list and main one character and be like, I'm not playing any other character, but let me look at a tier list. What? That's not the point of looking at one. You look at a tier list to see maybe which character you want to get into, maybe which character might be great for you to start learning and picking up. Like that's why you look at a tier list. And when it comes to this character, I just feel like he takes way too much time. He's a fun character and I love him. I think he's a great character, great design. But I just know if your goal is to climb quickly, he just takes too much time to get down. I actually have a dedicated account for this character because when he came out, I was like, I'm only gonna play this character on this account. I have a lot of accounts now. I play too much. And I literally only play this character. And it took a while for me to get used to it, maybe about 20 games. But I'm also a better player than average, right? So it's way easier for me to get used to a character than it is someone who's like maybe gold and like they're just saying, hey Poppin, who do I want to play? It takes a lot. So with that being said, he has a lot of like great team play potential, but unless you're in a party, it doesn't go used. I don't know if you guys have ever been in a situation where your teammate did something, but because there wasn't anybody around, they couldn't capitalize on it. That's how he works. Everything that he does is there for you to capitalize on it. And if you guys aren't on comms and you're just playing solo, maybe you might mistime it. And if you aren't patient, you are out the fight because you just wasted everything. So in my opinion, I think he's underdoable. He's with Emma Frost. Like you could do it, but like, unless you really like the character, there's not really a reason to play the character and expect to get wins. Just play another character and you'll do fine. Next we have Invisible Woman. So, oh, my green screen is falling. Technical difficulties, chat. Technical difficulties. Give me a quick second. I'll fix it real quick. Give me a quick second. You know what? I don't know how many years I've been recording, and that's never happened. I think I got a ghost, guys. I think there's a ghost in my house. No, because look, think about it. Years, guys, years. Years. And you're telling me just randomly, off of years and years, my green screen falls. I think that's sus. Seriously, it's gotta be. I think it's sus. All right, it should be good. Hope it's good. Now I'm scared. Let me check in real quick. I can't wait till I move though. Nice sofa? Nah, it's not a nice sofa. It was nice. I'm gonna move soon, so I have a lot of stuff that I don't want to replace yet. I don't know if you guys have ever been in that situation where it's kind of like you want to replace stuff, but it's like you're about to move, so you don't replace it. But that's where I am right now, so we're kind of letting things be until I move, which is probably why the green screen fell in the first place. All right. Good luck with the move. I appreciate it. Yeah, I really want to like set something cool up for you guys, but obviously that's not happening here because it's not big enough. All right. Hopefully everything is set up. All right. Let's get back to everything. All right, we're chilling. Hopefully everything's good. Okay, I want like a dedicated like stream room, and that's my goal by the end of the year when I move. I want a dedicated like stream room, and I'm gonna have like no green screen, and then I want like things in the background. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait for that, but obviously I can't do that right now. Anyway, let's get back. Next up, Invisible Woman. So, when it comes to Invisible Woman, that character is... Where is she at? When it comes to Invisible Woman, I mean, this character has always been a menace. Like, I honestly cannot stand... Maybe that's why the green screen fell, dude. Maybe it was Invisible Woman. She was like, I know you're about to talk something about me. I'm about to just knock your whole setup over. This character is really strong, and I've always said it. She's really like, she's above strong. She's, I think, one of the best supports in the game, and it's not for damage. It's really for the fact that she has insane utility, and it's on a very low cooldown. So I think in order for this character to be balanced, they will need to like increase this stuff. Like the shield is ridiculous, the heal on the shield is ridiculous, the suck in is ridiculous, that's ridiculous, this is ridiculous, the slow when you walk through is ridiculous, everything is ridiculous. And if you guys did not know, the shield actually slows people if they walk through it. Let me see if I can give you guys a brief example. Is there a spot where I could... Nah, probably not. Just take my word on it. It slows people when they walk through it. So this basically means that she has a way to peel you without actually peeling you. She just has too much utility. I think that's just where I'm going with this. She has too much utility, and then on top of that, the invisible thing. Like, I get you can go invisible, but this needs to be increased. There's no way that I should catch you slipping, right? There's no way I should catch you slipping. You hop away from me. I chase you because of the gap. I get close to you. I hit you like once or twice, and then you do it again. That is unreal. So she's one of those characters that you have to kind of ignore because you can't get to her, or you have to play a character that can take her out even when she goes invisible like that. And this is a little bit more apparent in high ranks. I don't think low rank invisible players really get the hang of it, but in high ranks, generally people are extremely good at cycling their abilities. And so you have a really hard time catching this character, especially if she knows what she's doing. However, we're not rating for high ranks, we're rating for bronze to diamond. And in that case, we are going to say that she's still an S character, bro. Play that. She's in every game, bro. A character that is in every game is clearly a strong character. I don't even need to say it. Let's be honest. All right, next character is Iron Fist.
You know my legacy, but this is a whole new chapter.
Most sub ults have counterplay. I don't think that ult has counterplay, man. You just in it unless you take her out. I think not being able to see someone is ridiculous. It's part of the kit. Now, I don't think it's bad, like at a fun standpoint, but a competitive standpoint, to hide an entire team and being invisible is already busted. Let's be honest. But having the ability to hide an entire team plus your team is kind of gnarly. And it basically cuts off any ability to select. So like Mantis cannot heal through that. She's effectively not a character when she ults like that. Like that type of gameplay is rough. And you're doing the same thing Groot does basically. Even with their little shield that she pops up. You're doing what Groot does. And if it makes you play the game differently or it makes you have to swap a character, it's already strong. Because usually you shouldn't. The design of the game is you need to swap, but like realistically, I think they do such a good job with this game. You don't have to swap if you don't want to, most of the time. All right, especially in Bronze and Diamond. So now we're talking about Iron Fist. When it comes to Iron Fist, I used to hate this character. I mean, I still do, but I don't hate him as much anymore. And one of the main reasons for this is because it kind of turned him into a tank buster. So he doesn't do nearly as much damage as he used to in such a short amount of time on squishy targets. Like, you have a lot of time to react to this. All right? If he uses his kick to secure the KO, well, you know, obviously, my boy is unable to move, right? He has to try to find walls. So if they use it to disengage, you should be able to deal with this. Now, there is the point where he starts punching like that. But again, it could be dealt with. He doesn't do as much damage as he used to. This is great because that was the point. That was the whole issue with this character for me, is that he pops you in 2 seconds and there's no way to get away from this character. Now you can get away from him. He doesn't do nearly as much damage as he used to. And you only really KO to this guy if he catches you slipping, which is how dive characters are supposed to be. That being said, this character is still hard to deal with. He's not an easy character to deal with. Regardless of what you say and what you do, this character is still a pain in the butt to go against. And so, in Bronze and Diamond, he runs into the same category as Black Panther does, where you have to put a lot of resources to get this guy down. And if your team doesn't know how to play together, especially when you're in a solo queue environment, he will stomp. And I was actually playing him quite a bit. Like I said, I've been playing a lot of melee characters because they weren't in my pool. I knew how to play them because I played them on release when I was climbing, but then I stopped because I didn't really find him too enjoyable. But now I do. And I was playing quite a bit of him because I was like, I used to like hate playing this character. And as time moved on, I started playing him more and more. I was like, bro, I always liked the design of this character, but like now I know how to play this character. This guy is disgusting. That being said, he's not as strong as he is in lower ranks. Obviously, people are more coordinated. But from Bronze to Diamond, bro, this guy's GOAT. Like, play this character, auto win. For sure. For sure. Maybe not auto win, but you will win a lot of games. This character is good. Very good at destroying tanks, especially when you're dealing with Emma Frost, a character that cannot move. If she tries to grab you, just block. That's the other part about Iron Fist, is you can block almost everything. He's very strong in that regard, so just get better at timing your blocks, and you probably will wipe teams like nothing. Next character that we have is Iron Man. Iron Man is a bane of both console and PC players. People just have a very hard time KOing targets in the air. And lower ranks generally are very stubborn and they don't like to swap. So you'll see a Spider-Man or a Black Panther, Magik, whatever, not swap. And if you guys are mains of those characters, you know it takes a considerable amount of skill to play those characters and take out something that's flying. It takes skill to take out something that's flying with Black Panther, Spider-Man, Magik, Iron Fist. Like, it's not just willy-nilly, I'm going for you. Well, in Bronze and Diamond, they don't really have that skill yet, right? They haven't learned it to be that good at a character. And so, generally speaking, they'll ignore Iron Man. And then Iron Man just kind of gets away with whatever he wants to get away with. I think one of my main issues with this character right now is his alt fire has way too much ammo. He should not be able to do this. If they cut this dude's ammo down, like maybe making it 2 charges per second instead of 1, I might be happy with it. But even that is still excessive. He can also just kind of be very poke heavy from far away. Having the gamma buff from Hulk makes him extremely strong. He has the overshield now, which makes him, you can't even duel this guy in the sky anymore. Like, this character is actually so broken. He was strong before, but this character is like broken now. Like, if you want to win games, bro, main this character. Bronze and Diamond should be a breeze because people cannot deal with you. They can't aim. And should they try to deal with you, like against Spider-Man or anything like that, just save your overdrive and then you got an overshield and you probably could take out that character and just keep doing that. If you can't, just run away. So, not really much to say about this character because he's so basic, but the buffs that they gave this character made him just ridiculous. And so I definitely think he's very good at playing the game. Even if, let's just say there's a Hawkeye or a Hela, it doesn't matter. If he puts that overshield on, he has free reign to take a few shots before you take him down. And if he's going 1-for-1 with you, he will win every time. There's not many people that can out-duel an Iron Man laser. Like, you have to be very good at doing your, like, at landing shots. And it's just really hard to do. And this guy doesn't miss. So, easy, easy. Next character that we have is Jeff. So, I see Jeff a lot in lower ranks, and then I only see, like, I see Jeff a lot lower ranks, and then I barely see them in higher ranks, but they're there. The difference between a high rank Jeff and a low rank Jeff is that a high rank Jeff, their whole strat is cheese. Like, the way they play Jeff is very cheese related, and if it doesn't work, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to play anymore. They just really fundamentally do not understand how to play the game anymore. And they usually lose the team the game. In lower ranks, they're a bit more flexible because I don't think they have adapted that strat to be cheesy. Yeah, the ult thing, but like, that's not really cheese. That's just how his ult's designed. Like you can't really say, oh my God, he's so cheesy because he grabs you. Oh, that's kind of how it's designed. You can't really do much about that. But going to the back line and dueling people, being super annoying, and then, you know, doing all that nonsense, that's really only like someone who, that's a play style, and you have to commit to learning that play style. That's not Jeff, that's just the Jeff dual play style. And if that doesn't work, again, a lot of these Jeff players don't know how to play. I think one thing that I don't like about Jeff is that he does way too much damage. He does way too much damage, and his hitbox is very small, so you can't really do anything to this character. And even that is enormous. That doesn't make any sense why his AoE is that big. What I will say is that because his heals are so lackluster, it's okay. But honestly, I would like for him to do less damage and have better heals. That might be a hot take because I'm not a Jeff main. But realistically speaking, I would definitely rather just more heals on Jeff and less damage. I want him to be more of a traditional healer because he's a really cool character. But it's like every time you get a Jeff on your team, they either troll and don't want to play the game properly, or they don't really do anything. And it's just kind of like, I don't mind you playing Jeff, bro, but like, your character doesn't do anything. I mean, I don't hate you. You know, I just like, could you play something else for us? Okay. Because if the strat works, it's unbearable. But if the strat doesn't work, it doesn't work. So, and he doesn't really have an alt way to play. Like, objectively, the stronger way to play Jeff is to be that annoying backline dual fighting Jeff. Objectively, he's not a great healer. Yeah, you could put the bubbles down, but like, how many people just walk over the bubbles because they don't really understand what it does? Like, and they just like walk over all of them, and it's like, I guess you don't have any heals, bud, because you don't know what you're doing. Or they just like ignore the bubbles entirely. So I don't really know what they'll do. I really don't know what they'll do. He's one of those characters that are just kind of like very niche. Very, very niche. I don't even know if he has a clear-cut design on what they want him to do. Like, I don't know if he's just here for like the gimmick of like, oh hey, play Jeff, the land shark, or if he's just actually designed to be a hero that people are supposed to like play and be good at. But he doesn't provide much. He's just good at being cheesy, and if being cheesy doesn't work, he's just sucks as a character, unfortunately. I do like really good heal Jeffs though, but you have to be very competent on how to use the bubbles if you are playing with the Jeff, because there are some good Jeffs that understand how to place bubbles and where to place bubbles. But again, the way that his heals work is you have to be competent enough not to be moving around, because it's very hard to land this thing when you're doing anything crazy like that. So you have to know when to stop, and you also have to know when to pick up bubbles. And that's out of my control. Adam Warlock, as an example, I snap my fingers, it heals. No matter what you do, I'm healing you. The way that this character works is you have to understand when Jeff can and can't heal you, and how Jeff can and can't heal you. And as a player that's on your team, if you don't care enough to learn about Jeff, you're just not going to have Jeff be useful. And it's not even the Jeff's fault at that point, it's the teammate's fault. But it just seems like it's the Jeff's fault because the person's KOing over and over. Again, I would like to see more heals, so that way, you know, you don't have to play out your mind, or people don't have to understand how you play to, like, he doesn't really provide anything. And I would like to just see better for him. I don't know what they'll do. I'll say it's doable, because it is doable. But it just takes a lot more time and effort. And if you really want to put that time in, go ahead. Obviously, play any character you want if you love them. But just know you're going to have some really rough games if your strat doesn't work. And it will work. You know, this is the bronze to diamond list. We'll put him at decent. I don't think he's that great. I lied. I'm gonna stick to my gut. You need to be really good at that character for him to work. Next we have Loki. I mean, they just hit him with the nerf, right? What's the nerf on the timer now? 30 seconds, so it was 20. They just hit him with the nerf. When it comes to Loki, his healing potency is only when he has clones. If you guys don't know, his clones actually expire by themselves. You'll see this clone go away without me even doing anything. It just goes away. It's not on the map indefinitely. So that is one downside to playing Loki. Also, like I said, you have to have all three out. His heals by itself is pretty bad. You need to be on point with where you're going to put your clones, and you need to be on point with how your clones are placed. If you are not, this is one of my main characters, by the way, one of my main healers. If you are not understanding how to do it, you're probably gonna lose. There's two ways to play Loki. There's other ways too that's very flexible, but there's two like dry ways to play Loki, like black and white ways. The first way is going to be defensive. Not saying defensive like mode, but just like you're posted up chilling. You're defensive. You don't have to line them up like this, it's just the example. You can put them anywhere. Basically, the goal of this is to just put your clones in a nice spot, so that way you're able to heal your team whenever you need it while also fighting. It's more of a supportive type of Loki. The other type of Loki that you have is more of a attack type of Loki. And so what you tend to do is put them in like obscure spots that are kind of out in the area, but it's very good for you to get like back shots on people. Yes, you can heal your team, of course, but the goal is to actually use it as an offensive tool rather than a defensive tool. Those are the two basic ways to play this character. That being said, he also has the ability to heal through a lot. He can go invisible, and when he's invisible, he heals. He can also snap to a target, stay invisible, so you like really don't know where this man went. He can also put down clones while he's invisible, so you really don't know where this guy is. Like, there's a lot that he can do. And then obviously he can steal ultimates. This character is undoubtedly kit-wise the most broken character in the game. Like, kit-wise, this character is the most broken character in the game. It does take skill to get to that point of being broken, I will say, but because the character requires forethought from the enemy team. And again, as we established in Bronze to Diamond, people do not think. And I don't mean it like they're stupid, because that's not what I mean, but they don't think outside the box. They think about what's in front of their screen. People in Bronze through Diamond can put Loki clones up and nobody attacks them. And this guy's just chilling, getting free heals, getting free damage, KOing the entire team. I've been that Loki. You guys have seen me on stream do it. That is not... what happened to my... What in the world? Guys, my... I can't even move. My thing glitched. Dude, today is not a good day. Green screen falling all over the place. Game is glitched all over the place, bro. Jesus. Anyway, because this guy's heals are extremely strong, he can heal through Groot ult, but the thing is, it requires so much timing from the player. It's not just a basic. It's not just a basic like, oh, I'm playing Loki and I'll do amazing. No. This character's broken, but he's not broke. He's not brainless broken. He's literally only as good as you are, and the better you get at him, the more broken he becomes. That being said, because as I was saying, people do not pay attention and think outside the box in lower ranks, they generally just let people do whatever they want to do. And again, if they have a hard time catching a character or dealing with the character, they ignore them, and that character can then play the game however they want to. I think Loki is easily at an S. It's very strong, very strong. And as you get better with him, you effectively like level up with this character the better you get with this character. So Loki 1000% would be at S here. Very good solo character to climb with. Very good character that's good at ping. Like, he's good at everything. There's not a world where this character is bad, especially because you can steal ultimates. All right, next up we have Luna Snow. As I said, guys, I'm kind of reading your comments, but I just want to kind of get through it because we're going to do this twice. So I want to make sure that we have enough time, and I don't want to like, so I'm not ignoring you guys, but I don't want to go too off topic and talk for a long time. Y'all know I can do that. I like talking, but we got to do it. We got to do it twice. So we will talk. We will talk though. And I am reading it like I said I am. So what was I saying? I like totally forgot what I was saying. Luna Snow. Next character. This character is very good. The downside to this character is that she has to have line of sight, more or less. And, you know, she's kind of susceptible to just being dove repeatedly. That being said, if a Luna Snow knows how to play, it usually is very hard for you to get caught. But I think the players and I think the character is pretty strong. She effectively turned into a tank when she does this, but this is not about what I think. This is about how they perform. In my opinion, I don't really have much to say about this character because she's so basic. The only thing that's strong is her ult. But you have to get to your ult, and getting to your ult with this character is a lot harder than getting to your ult with Cloak and Dagger and Invisible Woman. Usually your ult will be second. You can't master ult. You'll usually fall behind in that. More or less it's because your teammates just keep KOing, you're having a hard time aiming, whatever it may be. You know, people aren't stopping to let you heal, whatever. She requires the player to be very, very understanding about what's happening. And if you want quick points, this character probably ain't the one to do it. She's underneath the same category as she's under the same category as the rest of them. It's doable. She's not a bad character, do not get me wrong. I think she's a great character, but she requires the player to just be too good. And when you're trying to get from bronze to diamond, there's just so many more things that you need to understand about the game, in my opinion, than playing Luna Snow. You could play Cloak and Dagger or Invisible Woman, and you could still do what Luna does better, but better. And you can focus on how to play Marvel Rivals instead of focusing on how to play your character. Because generally what happens when people focus on how to play the character a little bit too much is they get to a rank where they don't really know what to do if their character or playstyle is hard countered by someone really good. And then they can't swap because they don't understand how to play the game. And so they're kind of just stuck with the lose. You don't really want to be in that situation. You want to understand how to play the game so that if you have to swap, even if you don't like a character, on a fundamental level, you understand what to do. This character won't really teach you the fundamentals of the game, unfortunately. I think she's a great character though, and I definitely think she's worth putting time into should you want to learn Luna. But if you're like, Poppin', I don't really like Luna, but do you think I should play her? I'm gonna be like, no. If you're someone who's like, I don't care who I play, bro, I just want wins, this is not it. But if you really love Luna, then play Luna. Next character that we have is Magik. I actually cannot stand this character. And I don't even want to talk about her. That's how much I don't like this character. I don't even want to talk about her, but I will for the sake of this video, or for the sake of the stream man video. So when it comes to Magik, character is busted. Problem solved. She deserves to be under S. Don't even need to say anything. She gets away with too much. She does too much damage. It's unbalanced. And I don't know what they're going to do with this character, but she's broken. Next, we're going to talk about Magneto. Now with Magneto, he's received some nerfs, but he's also received a few buffs. Magneto's kind of like your staple character. He's very good at like also preventing your team from making mistakes. I think that's one of the huge parts that I like about Mag, is that he's very good at like saying, hey, you are like sucking right now, here's a shield. Or he's good at giving someone who's good at attacking a shield. That being said, there's a common theme with this character that if you don't main this, even if you do main this character, man, this character is undoubtedly one of the most like passive playstyle characters I think I've seen. And it's funny because he doesn't need to be passive, but players are, they're like brains just mold to being a passive Magneto player. And that's where the problem lies, because he can do so much more than be passive. It's hard. This one's hard because the character is great, but you have to get over so many hurdles to play this character properly. I'm not gonna get too hung up on it because we do have two lists. So we'll talk more about like certain characters in the second list that we make for high rank. But like, I do not see Magneto players actually performing better than other tanks in Bronze and Diamond. Like I don't see it. They're just really passive. No matter what rank you are, they're passive. They're even passive in Grandmaster. They're very passive players. Doesn't matter if it's on PC or console. I know some of you guys are like, but pop it, PC players are no, okay, I played on both. They're the same. I don't know what brings people to play like this. Even if they are one tricks, they are very passive, especially if they're solo tanking. And I think that's a hindrance. I think the character is good, but it requires you to play too much out of your comfort zone before you figure out how. Let's just say I just started playing the game, right? And I'm a bronze player. Playing a character that puts me out of my comfort zone is very hard for me to do because I don't even know how to play the game yet. So I don't know how to adapt to the situation being given to me. I think that he falls in line this one's hard, y'all. Oh God. Because look, we're not looking at this at a point of a smurf. If I smurfed with Magneto, I'd be stomping games. He's a good character, but this is not a smurf. This is regular players. I have yet to run into a mag that's really troublesome in Bronze and Diamond. It just doesn't happen. They're always passive. Always. Even if they're lords. Because Magneto doesn't give you the inherent tools to carry the game, it's not obvious. Like, this character is not straightforward. He's very flexible. You don't really know what you should be doing and why most of the time, other than just taking shots at people, right? Maybe you know to pop a few shots and then do your little magnet stuff. But like, his kit is so versatile, it's like you don't know what buttons to do when. And he's the type of character that likes to take advantage of the situation. If you don't know how to take advantage of the situation, this character is not what the character is anymore. He's a different character at that point, right? If all I'm doing is this, okay, I don't really have a wall. Okay, well, so I imagine this is the wall. If all I'm doing is this, they don't even do that, honestly. People would just do this. If all I'm doing is this, what am I bringing to the table? What am I realistically bringing to the table? You need to know how to use this character, and you're not learning how to do that until you climb to higher ranks. Therefore, this character is not actually a good character for low ranks. We're stopping it there. Agree to disagree. That's all I'm gonna say. That's my thought process on it. Okay, that's where we are. All right, next we got Mantis. I actually really like this character. She's awesome. I'm not even gonna talk about this character too much. Mantis is great if you don't really need too much heals, but once you need a lot of heals because your team is just getting popped, like even this, you see the heal is not even doing much. That's the problem with Mantis. Now they did buff it so that it extends the duration, but even so, look, if you get headshots, it does refill, but like the consistency of which you can get headshots, let's be real, that's not how that works. You're not about to just pop dome, heal, pop dome, heal, pop dome, heal. You're gonna have to be very much on the offensive. And let me tell you, if you get to Grandmaster, maybe even Celestial, and all you know how to do with the support is play offensive, you're not gonna be there for long. You need to learn the balance. When do I need to be offensive? When do I need to be defensive? When do I need to be offensive? When do I need to be defensive? And so she's a great character, but it really heavily relies on how much your team understands how to play with the character. And what did I always say? Whether it's a character that you're fighting or your character that's on your team, if the player has to adjust their play style to handle you, it is not a great character if it's your team, and it is a broken character if it's against someone. If I have to change my playstyle to beat you and I'm not comfortable with that playstyle, I will most likely lose to you. If I'm on your team and you have to change your playstyle to meet the criteria of my character and you don't understand how to do that, you're gonna lose the game. And so Mantis falls under that category of like, it really just depends. She can KO people, cool. But now you're putting the power in the hands of the player, and that's not what a tier list is about. The tier list isn't about, well, yeah, but Lord Mantis players and God's one tricks, and yeah, they're so good. There's a guy that hit rank 1 with Mantis, and yeah, no, that's not. You're not them, right? When you're looking at a tier list, this is for average players in all these ranks. People that aren't pros, people that aren't in tournaments, people that don't lord this character. This is for people who want to start learning a character that they feel could help them win. That's the point. With little as effort as possible. Mantis requires aim, which is not inherently bad. You're taking shots with every character, but the heals just are not good enough, and you have to play better than the character is asking you to play in order to even do anything. And even then, it is still hard to play the character. And I love Mantis. She's actually one of my other supports that I will play a lot, even on my main. Like I really love this character a lot, but I just know like her heals are lackluster, and like you can only play her for so long until you identify that your heals aren't working and you need to swap. So I'm gonna say it's doable, but she's in the same spot as Jeff. Now she does work really well in teams, but this is a solo tier list. This is not about, well, if you put the buff on the Squirrel Girl and she lights people up, she's so broken. Or if you put it on Hawkeye, it's so good. That's not what we're talking about, because that requires your teammates to understand how to play with that. And again, this is a solo climb tier list, which means you're playing by yourself, which means people probably are not going to understand how to use what you gave them. Okay, let's move on. Next up, we have Mr. Fantastic. All right, this character is actually people always think this character is bad, and I don't even know why, dude, but they keep buffing this character. And one of the ways that developers usually buff, I'm not going to say Marvel Rivals do it, but one of the ways that characters are usually buffed in games is not just based off statistics, but also based off feel. If the players feel the character is bad and in their brain the character sucks, the developers more or less are inclined to remedy that somehow. If it is to buff them, even if it's to nerf them, they will do that. If it's to buff them even in a way that doesn't really inherently do anything, they will do that. The goal is to make sure that you're having fun. The goal is to make sure that you feel like it's a good character. That's the goal. So even if it's stat wise, it shows the character is doing fine and people are still complaining about it, they got to do something. That being said, I think that's what happened, because this character's received buff after buff after buff. adjustments. Like, this guy has just been through it. And I really like how much attention to detail they're paying with this character. That being said, this character provides a lot for his team. He's able to shield his team. He's able to provide CC, knock people back, slow them. He's able to slam them together, move them. Like, then the guy can go to melee mode. His ultimate, which is the funnest part of this character. I love this ult. One of the most satisfying ults in the game, dude. It's very, very good. Very good. People just don't understand sometimes when to use it, so they just like waste it. In my opinion, this character is a very, 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 very good character. The added beefiness of being a pseudo tank is just invaluable, because this game struggles with having characters that generally can one-shot. Most people don't play those characters. They play tickle characters or poke characters. But if you can survive the tickle or the poke, I mean, what are they gonna do? You can get them before they get you, and that's where he thrives. If there's two tanks plus this guy, and they're all diving you, what are you gonna do? There's too much meat, right? So, I mean, yeah, the character's solid. And if your tank is solo tanking, well, you're basically a pseudo tank. So you give this guy not only the psychological confidence of like, oh yeah, there's a guy in there with me, let's go, but you actually help him because you take a lot of shots to take out. So very great character, not much to say. I think this character is a hidden gem, and is always a hidden gem. This dude's kit is insane, and they keep buffing him, so ride that train. Ride that train. He's so good. Next character that we have is Moon Knight. So with Moon Knight, people always think this character is bad, and like I can kind of see where they're coming from, but I kind of don't at the same time. This guy keeps getting buffed too, by the way. This guy just received a buff to give him an overshield. It doesn't really do much, to be honest. I originally thought it would do something. This is like one of the only changes that I felt like it was going to be disgusting, and it didn't really end up being disgusting at all. It's kind of like whatever. I thought, but when I originally read it, before I tried it, I actually thought he was getting an overshield just for like hitting people. And I was like, bro, that's ridiculous. But it's just for this. So, yeah, it's not that crazy. They keep fixing his ult and buffing his ult, but honestly, man, the thing about this character is he's kind of in the same thing as Hulk is, where it's not that the character sucks, but people just understand how to deal with you now. Just dodge the Ankh, destroy the Ankh, take out Moon Knight. Unless you're a really good Moon Knight, that is literally a very easy thing to stop, especially at high ranks. That being said, a lot of low-ranking players do not pay attention to stuff like this, and they will consistently get exploded by the Moon Knight unless they send someone to dive the character. Usually Moon Knight players cannot aim, so whenever you need to have them move around and not be able to camp in a location and look down, and they're over here fighting like this, they cannot aim. It's not because they suck. Well, I mean, it might be, who knows? But the projectile speed is very slow, and I actually think they buffed the projectile speed as well, so that he has a better time aiming, because it was atrociously difficult to aim with this character beforehand. So that is kind of remedied a little bit now. But even so, he's still not a straight up fight you character, right? He needs to be in a good location. If you can weasel this guy out repeatedly, you're golden. I think at a base level, this character, you're not about to just slap on Moon Knight and start winning anymore, because people understand how to deal with you. But if you main Moon Knight, this character is really, really good, but you got to main the character, and that's not what this list is about. So we're going to put Moon Knight at A. Very good character, and obviously the better you get at the character, the more you're going to be able to clap cheeks. In very, very, very low ranks, he kind of just gets away with camping like this, and people don't usually deal with them. But I think once you hit about gold, people start to understand, like, we can't let Moon Knight just sit here and do this. Especially once you get closer to Diamond, you're not going to just be camping for no reason in the location. You'll be dove. So, he's only as good as the enemy team lets you camp. If you can't camp, this character is not that great. If they're just going to allow you to camp, this character is great. And that's why we can't really put him at S, because it's really just dependent on how good the enemy team is and how good you are as a whole, right? Next character that we have is Namor. Where is he at? All right. So I'm gonna only say a few comments about this character. The one comment is the what is that thing that he got from the Hulk? The enhanced squid is dumb. Like my Nutties, I love you guys. I mean, you guys are a great game, but like, who thought that was a good idea? That is so imbalanced, man. It's not even a joke. You should not be able to laser people. It is so unbalanced. It's not a joke. And you can argue that, well, you need to hit the squids. My thing about this little squid, if they want to keep Namor the same, here's a hot take. If they want to keep Namor the same, do not allow these things to hit people that Namor does not see. If I am chilling right here and Namor is like up there, okay, that's probably a really bad example. Let's just say Namor is here, right? Namor is chilling right there and I'm right here. If I poke my head out, this should not hit me. What sense does that make? That is the most frustrating. He doesn't even see me, so why does that? He's like an anti-sneak character, and he's an anti-dive character. Like, what do you do? Oh, I poke out to hit it. Oh, but I take half my HP and damage. Now I have to wait, and I didn't even destroy the squid. It's dumb. If they can fix how that works, this character will not be a problem. I get him attacking things in front of the character, but if I'm sneaking up or Namor isn't looking in my direction and I want to destroy this, I should be able to destroy it without it hitting me. It's Namor's fault for not paying attention. I shouldn't be able to just allow this thing to smack me twice. Namor turns around, oh, you're half HP, here I come, boom. That makes no sense. That's one of my main gripes with this character. So we need to either nerf the damage of that thing, nerf the HP of that thing, or make it so that it doesn't randomly attack people that just appear and Namor doesn't see. The second thing that I would like to see change with this character that makes him unbearable is the alt fire, if you guys did not know, is splash damage. So it works even if he whiffs. That is why Namor is a problem. It is not because the character itself is busted, but it's because people don't need to aim for that to kick in. That is the issue. And so if we can remedy those two things, where Namor actually needs to aim the freaking shot for that to pop off, making it more of a skill express character, huge. If they make it so that people can't just walk up to Namor's thing trying to take it out and get focused down and blasted, because what happens too is that even though he's hitting the target, because this is generally how it works, if he's hitting a target, it will hit that target, right? But if he's not hitting the target, I mean, if he's hitting the target and they still walk up, for some reason it works. Also, did that thing just get enraged without me even using the enraged ability? What, was that always a thing? Am I tripping? There's no way that was always a thing. Let me read. Throwing the trident forward reduces aquatic domination's cooldown upon enemy impact. Critical hits cause it to enter berserker state. Oh, I think that has been there. I didn't know I was landing headshots. Yeah, I didn't realize it. That makes more sense. Okay. I was tripping for a second. I was about to be like, they did not. I still feel like that wasn't a thing, but I probably just wasn't paying attention to it. Okay, that makes more sense. But anyway, yeah, reduce this, that doesn't make sense. Reduce the splash and then make it so that way, if I want to sneak up on Namor, I can. Reduce those two things or remove them, whatever you need to do. And I think this character isn't going to be much of an issue, but this character is busted. So he goes into S without a doubt. We don't even need to talk about the actual Hulk formation version of the character. Next, we got Peni. Where's she at? So Peni received some buffs. I don't really need to say much. What did we say with the Groot situation? If a character requires you to play different and you don't know how to adapt, you'll lose. Because that's how this character works, and you're in a rank that people don't usually adapt their play style, they just do the same thing over and over and over and over again and then complain about it not working, those players generally are just going to continue to lose to Peni. So Penny, I don't even, like I said, need to talk about, because it's not really her kit itself. It's the players not understanding how to deal with that kit. And the buffs doesn't really change anything for low rank play. It only really helps high rank players, in my opinion. So we are going to just put her at S. Very simple, very straightforward. Not really much to say about that character. She's the same as she always has been for lower ranking players. Psylocke. So Psylocke, I used to think that she was like really, really strong. And I mean, she is. But you gotta be a god on this character for her to be strong. Like, you could farm ult, don't get me wrong, and then just ult and you win fights. But the time it takes for you to charge the ult, it's such a long time that you can lose out on a lot of map pressure or points if you're playing domination by basically just camping and waiting it out. The only time this character works is if people turn around and try to fight her like this, right? And then they turn around and they're like, we gotta get Psylocke, guys! We gotta get Psylocke, guys! But if they don't do that and they just like, oh, we see Psylocke hitting us from behind, whatever, heal it up, let's keep moving. Then Psylocke doesn't really do anything until she has ult. Unless the Psylocke is a god, like a really good Psylocke. And even if that happens, you still might screw up a lot. And you might not end up winning as hard. She's underdoable. She's just, her like actual gameplay is difficult. People think that the difficulty stars sometimes mean like how the character functions mechanically, and I think sometimes it is, but the difficulty curve for this character isn't really how you press the buttons. It's just how you play the game. It's different, and it's harder to do it than other characters, and she's very, very squishy. So she doesn't really function unless people, she doesn't function if she's ignored. Her whole game plan is just to distract you and disorient you. If let's just say they ignore me, and then I, as a silent player, knows how to take advantage of someone ignoring me, you're gonna be fine. But if you're one of the silent players that don't know how to really do it, and you're like, oh, they're ignoring me, well, let me keep shooting, you're not gonna do anything. It's just gonna be a waste of time. So I'm gonna put her at B, because again, I think there's just so many other things that you need to focus on as a bronze to diamond player that it's just not actionable for you to really play this character and be successful without a lot of games. Again, play who you want, but it's just not worth it. All right, next is, well, it's not worth it if you like don't like her. I mean, if you like her, play her. She's great. Next is Rocket. Rocket just got a buff with his ultimate. He also just got a buff with his healing. Now it's funny, I don't know how many people, when I read the patch notes, told me, Poppin', Rocket sucks. Rocket's not good. Rocket this and that. Rocket, the changes broke him. They destroyed him. Rocket, Rocket, Rocket. And I read him and I explained, bro, these changes are broken. I didn't even play him yet, and I just know that this is game changing for him. It's great, don't worry. That comes out to early access, I play it. Rocket sucks. Rocket this, Rocket that. I'm like, okay, no, I'm telling you, this feels amazing. Rocket then comes out. People still kind of are on the fence. And then I scroll on Twitter. What usually happens? Everything Poppin says is correct, and other people post it on Twitter, and it's like, yeah, I said that 2 to 3 weeks ago, guys. 2 to 3 weeks ago. This character is insane. The buffs help them tremendously. The ult is ridiculous. This is insane. The only reason why I think it can stay how it can stay is because you can destroy it. That is the only thing. But having amplified and bonus HP, where this guy doesn't even have to focus on healing anymore, this man can just straight up focus on KOing people? That's crazy. He's way more interactive now. He's way more interactive. He feels way better to actually start attacking people with. He doesn't feel like I'm just in a corner doing this all game. Like, it feels like I can fight now. The amount of HP coming out is enough for me to heal you and then start shooting. Before, it was really slow, so I always felt like I couldn't stop. I had to keep going because it was so slow. But that bonus, I think it's 50 HP at the start, allows me to just take some shots real quick and go back. Take some shots real quick. Like, I feel more engaged with this character. They did a very, very good job identifying what his issues were and fixing them. Yes, they did lower the dash, but it was necessary because this character could not be cut. And then obviously he has a res, which, you know, has always been in the game. So I think this is great. I think the changes were great. This character is without a doubt an S character. Without a doubt. Before it was a meme. It was like, oh, you just play Rocket to get carried. No, now this dude is an actual carry. Like, this guy can dog some kids. Very great change. Awesome developing team for that. I feel like it's just hard sometimes to identify the issue and diagnose it. And they did a great job with it. And I'm happy that they did. All right. Next we have it's 55 HP. Oh, okay, yeah, 55 HP, which is a lot. That's a lot of HP. Next we have Scarlet Witch. Oh, I didn't realize this tier list thing messed up. Y'all didn't tell me nothing. Y'all slacking. Y'all supposed to tell me these things. There we go. I didn't realize it. All right, next we got Scarlet Witch. So with Scarlet Witch, she received some buffs and she received an adjustment to how her primary fire works. I believe it's no longer percentage HP, but it's actually damage over time. Before it was based off how much HP you had left or had overall, I believe, one of the two. But now it's just flat damage. Unless I misread. So that right there is just already magical. That's a much better difference for this character. They also buffed how fast she takes off with her ultimate. So she can move really quickly now, as you see. Before it was very slow, so she can get into position a lot easier now. She has great dueling potential. It only takes 4 of these to KO someone. Ooh, I whiffed. I believe it's 4. Yeah, it takes 4. So it takes 4 of those to KO someone, but obviously it's only 3 if you drain them just a little bit. It can be even less if you just keep draining them. So her ability to secure KOs is actually phenomenal if you can aim. She also has a really great escape. It was nerfed a little bit, but that's all right. It wasn't too crazy. I think this character is just really good. It's a really good character. It deters a lot of people from going in. If you see a Spider-Man or a Black Panther or something like that and you start hitting them before they get in, it kind of scares them and they want to back up, which is great. She can solo a lot of characters. It's very hard to deal with a character that doesn't need to aim when you have to. It's great splash damage. I said it last tier list and this just makes her even better. She's an S tier character without a doubt. Very solid character. Next character that we have is Spider-Man. Every tier list, you guys hate when I say it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. This character's broken. Now, how broken the character is determined by how good the player is. It is not a character that you just whip out and it's just busted outright, even though he kind of is. I'm not gonna lie. What's up, Zoe? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. The better you are with him, the more ridiculous this character becomes. That being said, I always explain to you guys, you don't need to be that good at Spider-Man. And Spider-Man mains hate me because like they spend 4,000 hours playing this one character and they get mad at me when I say that. But you know, I'm honest. I don't really say anything out of being biased or anything. I just say facts, or at least what I feel is opinion. You know, it's still my opinion. I'm not saying it's true. But you don't need to be a great Spider-Man to like actually win with this character. You just go in, smack some people, be annoying, okay, boom, bam, shamalam, swing out, whatever. Once you're good, go back in, go up, ult, wipe a team, do it moving. It's literally how this character works. You don't need to do any of the other pull off the map stuff, crazy like tricks and whatnot into slant. Like, you don't need to do any of that. Just come in, smack somebody, okay, dip out. Go get somebody with some hits, come in, smack somebody, dip out. Repeat, dip out. Go back in, bam, launch the whole entire team, ult, maybe secure a few KOs because they're stuck, dip out. You guys have seen me play Spider-Man and I don't even play this character that much. I played his games, so maybe that's why I can play this character. I play a lot of Spider-Man games, but you guys have played with me and you guys have watched me. I don't really play this character that much because I used to. I'm not gonna lie, I did used to because I really loved him, but I've fallen more in love with Black Panther, so I don't play him as much as I used to. But I still whip him out from time to time when I feel like, all right, Black Panther just ain't it. And then I just do that, and you win. And it doesn't matter what rank you are. That's just how this character functions. It really depends on how aware the entire team is. Now you could say, well, Pop and Emma Frost made it so that you can, when you go in and you ult, she grabs you. You just explained the problem. I go in, I ult, she grabs me. Fix the problem. That's how these characters work. That's the problem with the Marvel Rivals right now, is a lot of people are just so used to fast-paced gameplay where they just do not think and they fly in repeatedly without actually thinking about, well, what if I just wait a second for her to use her form, and then, like, when she's done, go in and then ult. Then what? You can wipe the team. So, yeah. I still think this character is ridiculous, very hard to deal with, and even more so from Bronze to Diamond. A lot of players that I see that are stuck with Spider-Man have no game sense, and that's not even a stab at Spider-Man players. Like, realistically, a lot of people that are mechanically gifted when it comes to playing Spider-Man, Black Panther, like these crazy mechanical characters, have no game sense, and that is because Marvel Rivals rewards you for having mechanical skill. But eventually, when you get to a rank that requires game sense and you don't have no game sense, you won't win, and then that's when you think, oh, my character sucks. No. It ain't your character, buddy. I'm telling you, not your character. Next, we have Star-Lord. Oh boy, this is my man's. So I actually play a lot of Spider-Man. I mean, not a lot of Spider-Man, I'm sorry. I play a lot of Star-Lord, like a lot of Star-Lord. And you guys know this. Like, this is one of my main DPS characters when I play him. When I did my DPS only climb, this was one of my main characters that I use. This character is undoubtedly extremely strong. Like, it's so easy to get KOs with this character. It's wild. And then when you just ult, freelo. Like, I don't even have anything to say more, because you don't really need to be that great at this character. From Bronze to Diamond, in my opinion, you don't need to be that great mechanically at this character, because this character rewards you for kind of just being crazy. And like, I just do this, maybe secure a few, whatever, run away, get a few shots onto somebody, whatever, get my ult up, wipe an entire team, we push it. And rinse and repeat. The only Star-Lords that really are not climbing with playing this character are the ones that tend to ult support ults. Don't know why they do it, but I see it all the time. They will ult when the support ults, and they have enough time to not ult. So they just kind of waste their ultimate. But if you can just understand when to use your ult, this character auto wins. Like, this character it's like one of the most auto win characters in the game, ult based wise, not character based wise, because like at a fundamental level this character is actually not that crazy, but like ult wise, he can solo win fights like and win games like crazy if people don't pay attention. It's one of those characters where if they don't know how to deal with you, you will just win, period. And I love that, because that's how it should be, because that's my man's. But I'm not going to be biased, you know. I understand that character is ridiculous. There's no reason to. I feel like anybody who mains a character that's biased about their character probably might be thinking a little one-dimensionally. And there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But to someone who plays multiple characters, to someone who like does reviews, to someone who coaches games, like brain's already like very analytical, and I think more about the big picture. And if a character needs a nerf, I understand why. It's not like they're just personally attacking a character. Just sometimes characters do need that nerf, you know? Next, we have Storm. I don't really see Storm too much. I don't really see this character at all, actually. But when I do, she's a pain, just like every other character in this game. Really, you just farm ults, and you just go in and then you just ult. There's not really much to this character. That's pretty much how it works. You run away. There's more finesse, obviously. If you're a Storm main, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's more finesse and more ways to play this character, but like on a really basic level, if you just get really good at like aiming and maneuvering in the air and then just ulting when you need to, it's similar to Spider-Man, where once you're in, you could probably just wipe the team. And then you just rinse and repeat that strategy. Oh, it's similar to Star-Lord too. You just rinse and repeat that strategy and it's a free wipe. That's really what it is. So, not really much to say about this character. She's very good at dueling. I don't know. She's just so basic of a character. There's not really much to talk about. I think she's great. Definitely a character worth playing. Next we have Squirrel Girl. So Squirrel Girl from Jump. I used to say she was strong, but no one believed me. So what they did to make her feel better is they fixed her ultimate so that it like bounces off walls now. And once it bounces off walls, it targets characters. Now obviously I don't think these things are coded as characters in that sense, but it will bounce off and smack characters. That being said, it doesn't really do justice if it's out in the open, so it does need to be in close corridors, which means some maps or some locations it's not that fantastic at. The character does ridiculous amount of damage, like a ridiculous amount of damage, and I don't know if they're gonna nerf that, but that's ridiculous. I should not do that much damage. 3 shots. Also, this character doesn't have fall off damage, so no matter how far you are, it will count. If I'm doing some crazy wall shot bangs, kind of like this, I don't know if it's gonna land because I've never done it, but if I'm doing some crazy wall shot bangs like that and it's landing and hitting someone, it counts. The fall off damage that comes from this character is actually from the radius of the explosion. So you see that circle? The closer you are, the more damage it does. So in reality, if a Squirrel Girl is good at aiming, she is always 3-shotting people. If they're not good at aiming, she isn't. But you're still doing damage and you're still fundamentally helping your team. Once you get the ult, pop it off when a team fight breaks out, you're probably gonna win that team fight, and that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much how it is. Okay. Not much to say. Very strong character, has a snare, has a way to get away from everything when she jumps away, has a reset on the abilities. When she plays with Spider-Man, she has another snare or a stun. She has a lot of damage. Great character. Don't need to be close to do damage. Like just kind of like nothing really to say. She's a very strong character. Very strong character. Super chat from Zoel. Here's $5. Now will you move Adam Warlock to S tier? Okay, well, Adam Warlock is now S tier. Adam Warlock is now S tier, guys. 100% S tier. Adam Warlock is now S tier. Next we have the Punisher. This character is actually really good, like really good. He's very basic. Like a lot of these characters that I've been talking about are just basic characters. There's not really much to exercise with them. He's very good at close range. When you get close, he shotguns you. Good at far range. You know, good at getting away if he needs to. Good at hunkering down if he needs to camp. A lot of characters being played now are like camp characters, so he's very good with them. And then if he pops his ult properly, he's wiping a team. When he has Rocket on his team, he's unbelievably difficult to deal with. So, not much to say. Typical soldier character, and everything that he does, he excels at. And he has a lot of options for a lot of characters. Not much to say, so I'm not going to go too in depth. Definitely an S tier character. The only downside of this character is you do need to know how to aim. I'm gonna put him at decent. I'm gonna say you need to know how to aim, and that's not something that every player inherently knows how to do. So it's unfair to say, oh, he's S tier, because all you need to do is know how to aim. Well, not everybody knows how to aim, even in high ranks. So some people just can't play certain characters, period. If you don't know how to aim with this character, you're probably not going to do well, period. But I think he's a great character. Next we have... we did it, guys. That's funny. Next we have the Thing. When it comes to the Thing, very strong, very easy, great at just solo KOing people. If you step out of bounds with the support, you're cooked. You're not getting away with it. Very good way to stop divers from jumping away. Very good CC control. Very good team wipe control. He can't do it himself usually, but being able to set up a team wipe is great. He's one of those characters that you don't need to understand what they do. This dude literally yells and stuns the entire team. You know instinctively what to do when he does it. Therefore, it's a very easy character to play with. He also adds reduction if he hops to people. His only downside is he's not good at taking characters in the air, but no character is good at everything. So it is something you're giving up when you play this character. Great for like making your way through areas, good at pushing people, even good at flanking. This character is great, especially when you become a creative thing player. He is a great character. Would highly recommend playing him if you want more of a juggernaut type of play style. All right. Next we have Thor. You know what's funny? I don't see Thor anymore. I don't see him that much. But next we have Thor. Thor is one of the characters that I also main for quite a bit. I love this character a lot, but also he doesn't do everything I love. So there's some things that I compromise on just to play him. Still a really good character. I just don't see him played often anymore. Possibly because of the new character. I don't know. But he's still good. They gave him a movement speed buff, although I think they nerfed his HP. They also made him a little bit more fluent. He's able to now use his square button or his awakening form. And once he comes out, he's able to use another ability. Still a good character, still a berserker, still someone who's like, bro, get up off me, please, before you KO me. Nothing changed. I just don't see him that much anymore. Great character at getting into the team, initiating and making some things happen. Just a really solid character, honestly. He doesn't really have much of a defense play, but you can play him as defense in terms of like more passive. A lot of Thor players are generally just hyper aggressive, but you don't need to be. And again, that's just something that a lot of players are in this game. When I was playing him on my main account, and this is an eternity, I would be solo tanking as Thor. But I also know that you don't, when you solo tank, you can't just like run in there and run it down. You do have to be a little bit more patient. You got to stall out a little bit, and you really got to pick and choose your fights a little bit more. He doesn't provide a lot, but to do that job, it is harder for him. I'm not going to just sit here and say it's just easy, because it's not. It requires a lot of patience and understanding about the situation at hand. But it's capable of doing it. That being said, you don't need to do that. This character still thrives. Just run at people and you will climb with this character. That's always how it's been. Next, we have Venom. I love Venom. Again, another one of my main characters that I play. Love this character. Very well designed. So when it comes to Venom, people think that this guy only has one playstyle, which is always strange to me. People think that you just do this and then you go in and you fight and then like you run away and then that's that, and then there you go. You do a lot more than that, and I can't really explain it, but the guy is great. He can solo tank, he can two-man tank, he can dive if he needs to, he can be extremely tanky in the front, he can survive for a very, very, very long time. You guys have seen me do it. Great character, and he keeps getting buffed for some reason. The higher rank you go, the harder it is for you to secure kills or secure KOs with the combo that he does, but it's still doable. You just gotta be a little bit more efficient with how you pull it off. But yeah, I think it's a great character. People can't really get away from you. Invisible Woman can't really get away from you, and that's one of the main problems with that character. You can mix and match how you want to go in and how you want to play. You know, if you don't want to swing in, run on a wall, go in, boom, like that, right? If you time your thing and your shield's coming back up, you swing out, make it seem like you're leaving, but you're not. You're coming back in even if you are low, boom, because your shield's back. And then you're going back in, and then your team can heal you, and now you're at full HP once again, and you're still in. Then you go back out, and then you come back in, and you can even run back on the wall, and then you go back down. Like, this character is actually so disgusting, but people don't know how to play him properly, and a very selective few Venoms I seen understand how to play this character properly. And I think as time goes on, people will learn, but because the character is so simple and so basic, you know, sometimes it's just people don't understand it from a glance. You have to play a lot to be like, oh, he could do all of that, huh? And he's one of those type of characters. I think he's an S character. Kit wise. But I'm not going to be biased on it. Whenever I see a Venom, I'm not scared. So this one's hard, dude, because I'm literally being biased right now. I'm gonna put him under doable. God, Venom, I love you, dude. You know I do. And Eddie Brock. But like, bro, let me be real. It takes so much game knowledge to play this character properly. For as simple as this character is, you're not about to just slap 10 games on this character and then like win games. He's a good character, but he's not good to you. Like he is not good to you. Thor is good to you. You can do whatever you want with Thor, and this guy's like, you got it. Venom is like, yeah, no, you're gonna need to, you need to work, bro. Like, you need to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it and when you're doing it. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. The kit is very simple. It's just how you play the character is not. And that is one of the main down points to this character. I think his kit is great though. Like I said before, it's nothing about his kit. It's just about people in Bronze to Diamond not really understanding, how that type of character functions, I think. Okay. Next we have Winter Soldier. So the dude doesn't have unlimited ammo anymore, which means that you are required to play him better. He's not as simple as just point and click anymore. I mean, the character is still busted, don't get me wrong, but like, he's not as OP as he used to be, for the simple fact that the guy has to like reload more now and weave his stuff in and out, which is a very difficult thing to do, especially in the heat of the moment. Before, with the unlimited ammo, he can kind of just play how he wants and use his abilities when he wants to use them. But now, due to the fact that the guy literally has to play around his cooldowns or he's stuck, it makes it a little bit harder to play the character. That being said, I think the character is still busted. But you'll notice a noticeable drop off from Winter Soldier players if they don't main the character. They're not that great. So I don't really worry about the character. He's annoying, but he's not as bad as he used to be. So that's where we're gonna put him. Next is Wolverine. As I said before, any character that requires you to play outside of your comfort zone is going to be a character that is busted. If a character requires someone to play in an abnormal way to deal with them, wrong character. If a character requires you to play abnormally to deal with them, let me just restart that. We're talking about Wolverine now, just in case you're skipping through and trying to find your character. I was talking about it before, but because this character requires the players to understand, like, hey, I'm gonna snatch you up, it's requiring you to think outside the box whenever you see this character. And even if he can't get behind you to grab you, the threat of him doing it is still spooky, and he does a lot of damage. So like, the fact that you do a lot of damage, the fact that you can snatch my teammate, the fact that you're ridiculously hard to take out if you have your passive up, means that I have to do a lot of work to deal with you. And again, if you have to do a lot of work to deal with somebody, usually it's going to be a busted character in that regard. So that is the end of the list here. We're gonna put him on S. That is the end of the list here. How much time have I been streaming for? We've been streaming for 2 hours. We're gonna go through the second list way quicker than this though, by the way. I just wanted to get a lot of the talking points out on the first list. So if you guys are looking for the second list, just skip by and it'll be better. So this is what we're looking at. So the S tier are gonna be the characters that I think are best for solo. You play them solo, people understand what you're doing. It's very easy for them to play with you. You have a lot of impact as a solo character. And yeah, you don't really need to go out your way to do anything crazy with these characters. They're just very good as solo options. This next role that we have is decent. So these are the characters that are pretty decent in a solo queue environment, but they do require a little bit more work to make pop off. Once you understand how to do it, it's very strong. The next one that we have is the B, which is the doable. They're doable, but you're gonna have to put a lot of effort into them. They're not inherently strong. So if you think about, I don't know, Cloak and Dagger versus Jeff, right? Luna, that's even a better example. Cloak and Dagger is inherently strong. You put Cloak and Dagger in anyone's hands and they understand how to play them and they understand why they do what they do. Luna isn't. you put that on Luna, they might like struggle on like when to do certain things and how to do them. So everybody in doable is in that kind of lump of like, they're not inherently strong and they're not intuitive either. You do have to play them a bit to understand what they're doing. And then D, which is not worth, these are going to be the characters. Oh, let me go ahead and finalize that, by the way. We put Adam up, but we do have to set, we have to finalize it. D are the characters that I don't think are worth. Play who you want, obviously, but it just requires way too much effort and it requires too much team synergy. And if you're playing by yourself, you don't have that. So that's where we are right now. We are going to reset this list and we are going to then do a high ranked version. So I'm going to reset this list here.
Look who just showed up.
We're gonna get it popping. Have to like redo the whole entire thing because when I reset the page, it actually resets the thing as a whole. So I have to redo everything. All right, here we are. We're back at it. This one's going to be Diamond Plus. So you hit Diamond. You're like popping. I want to hit Grandmaster. I want to hit freaking Eternity. I want to hit Celestial. One above all. Whatever. Help me out, bro. The difference between a Diamond player and everybody else below them is they understand the fundamentals of the game at this point, which means you are capable of doing things that other players are not. You are the above average. You are in high rank now. You are a big boy, basically, once you hit Diamond in this game. As much as anybody might think that's not true, they might think that, well, Diamond players suck and you can get Diamond, you can get Grandmaster, you can do all this under 30% win rate and blah, blah, blah. I have yet to see someone show me more than like one player that has already posted it on Twitter, gotten to a high rank with a very low win rate on their account. Usually what happens is they get there and then they lose a lot of games. And then they just are in a certain rank after losing a lot of games. But I digress. We're looking at Diamond Plus now. You guys are better. You guys understand the game. Now we are ranking for real, for real. So you have competent players that understand how to play together a little bit more. Yes, Diamond players still have a lot to learn. I think you have quite a bit to learn actually, but for the most part, you understand how to play the game. Starting off with Adam Warlock. Where is he? This will be a much quicker list, like I said before. Starting off with Adam Warlock, he does have issues with his heal, and he does have issues with his soul bond. It takes a while for that to happen. I don't really like playing with Adam Warlock regardless, no matter what game it is, but I really try my best to just chill out and not care. But I really don't like it. It's not something that I like. But generally speaking, a really good Adam Warlock player understands how to fight properly and they understand how to heal their team properly. That being said, sometimes they do run into an issue where their heals are not enough and they need to swap and they don't. And when they don't swap, you get ran over. In an ideal world where people are playing together and they are playing proper characters to heal, and this is what you're going to see more or less in Eternity and One Above All, people swapping characters to benefit others. You don't really see this a lot in Diamond, but I am still lumping this up with them. If people do play with the character, this character is very strong, like very strong. And that's why he keeps getting nerfed, because the character is really strong in high ranks. However, However, that's like the tippy top high ranks. And,
Flawless.
you know, I still don't think that this character is that great. I will say he's doable. He's definitely not in the not worth category. I lied. He's still there. I'm sorry, Zoel. He's still there. He's still there. I'm sorry. I don't like him. Look, I see a lot more bad things happening with that character than good things. And I think that's what makes me not want to put him any higher. It's because people still need to play with that character, and people are still very reluctant to be a team player in Diamond Grandmaster. Like, you really only start seeing it maybe at High Celestial. That's where people like start swallowing pride and be like, okay, what do y'all need from me? Because good lordy, at least in my experience. I tried. The kit is not bad. The problem is it doesn't have enough leeway for players to misplay. That's the issue. If you misplay as Adam Warlock, you are not going to do anything. That's the problem. If my teammate misplays because I don't have this ability left, they KO. What do? There's too much error with this character. I just don't think it's worth playing him unless you just really love this character. Other characters do what he does better. Unless you're maybe trying to deal with something that's flying, then, you know, I could see you probably whipping him out every now and then, or just to prevent a lot of burst damage. But he is not a character that you just play repeatedly. You only pick him every now and then. And for that, I got to put him there because it's not about that. It's about what character can you play repeatedly. Next, we have Black Panther. As I said before, Black Panther is very hard to deal with, and uncoordinated teams, this character just rolls over. But as you start climbing to Diamond and start climbing past Diamond, players start to be a little bit more understanding about how to deal with this character. You're not getting away with a lot of what you would get away with if you were in lower ranks. Any Black Panther will tell you that they had to overcome a hurdle because they're so used to just running through people. That does not happen once you get, maybe it'll still happen in Diamond, but once you get like High Grandmaster, Low Celestial, you're not doing that anymore. You better recognize. And so with that in mind, he's really only good if you're amazing. And he's one of those characters that puts out as much as you put in. You need to be good. Like, you need to be good. Otherwise, Black Panther is just not it. He was very strong in the lower ranks because the coordination that they don't have in lower ranks helps Black Panther succeed. Once there's coordination, the player has to be better, which if they are not better, they will get ran over. And I think in that, he's just decent. You know, he's decent. You're gonna have to be good at this character, and the better you are, the higher rank he goes. But you are gonna have to be like godlike with this character to pull him off in a lot of scenarios, because people aren't stupid. They understand how to play the game now. Black Widow, same thing, just not really worth it. There's no reason. Next, we have Captain America. So when we're dealing with Cap, he gets to a spot in the rank, and it's usually around Celestial, where you're not really going to accomplish much because people heal each other way too frequently, and they're again more coordinated. Characters that thrive on people being uncoordinated don't really work anymore. So he is one of them. If you hop on a backline, they have to be extremely separated. Otherwise, 9 times out of 10, you're not getting a KO. Like, fundamentally, this character is not designed to get KOs. I mean, every character is, don't get me wrong, but like, game strategy wise, any Cap in a high rank will tell you he's not really there to get KOs. He's there to secure them if they're low, but he's not about to just straight up 1v1 and get KOs. It doesn't happen. People are too aware. The other healer will turn around at an instant, start healing, start fighting you, and you have to run away. If you just continue to run around like a madman, it's not gonna work. It works in low ranks, but not in high ranks. So with that in mind, it's doable, but just takes a lot of effort. Actually, nah, he ain't that bad. Oh, nah, it ain't worth it, dude. Unless you just really, and I mean love Cap, it's not worth. Bro, I have way too many hours on this character, and I still don't play him in high ranks. I neglect to, unless I really need to for some reason. I drop him. There's just other characters that does what he does better, and that's why I play Venom. So yeah, that's just how I feel. As much as I love this character, He's just not that. He's just not it right now in those ranks. He's just too abusable. You understand what he's gonna do and why he does it. And a lot of characters at that rank generally play characters that can deal with this character. There's a lot of Namor. There's a lot of Cloak and Dagger. There's a lot of Invisible Woman. There's a lot of Mantis. There's a lot of Adam Warlock is great at dealing with them because he puts on that thing that prevents him from, you know, taking a lot of damage, the Soulbound. There's a lot of Star-Lords, a lot of Buckies, a lot of Wolverines, a lot of stuff that just really makes this guy's day hard. And you're not getting rid of all of them.
Always a spark of light.
You have to really love Cap to keep playing him in that rank because he doesn't secure KOs and he's not really much of a threat anymore. Not many people can pull him off. And when I play them, like I said, it's because I really want to, and I just whip him out because I really like the character. But it's just too much stress when I can just pick a different character and do what he does 1,000 times better. Next, we have Cloak and Dagger. So Cloak and Dagger, you're gonna rank now where people understand how to smack you out of ult, like everybody does. Whether it's Hawkeye, whether it's Hela, whether it's Magneto, whether it's Strange. Like, you have to be more perceptive about what you're doing and why, because you will get smacked every single time. Even if you come out like this and Doctor Strange ults you, you're gonna get KO'd. You need to be very understanding about why you're pathing and like why you're ulting, where you're pathing, and why you're pathing to that direction. She's still a good character, don't get me wrong, but you're not about to just straight up win off of ults anymore. Also, people aren't just gonna straight up fight you 1v1. They will run from you all the time. If they see you do that, if they go on you and see you do this and then do this, they're running. They're not gonna just try to take the 1v1. It's pointless, they're gonna lose. Then they'll come back and just do it all over again. So she is good, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of counterplay to her, and she has a really high amount of cooldowns. After you burn this, after you burnt this, after you then switch back, burnt that, if you do this to save you, guess what? It's not for your team anymore. You just like lost your team, the team fight. So everything that she has is baitable and abusable, which means that she's not as great as she is. That's not saying she's a bad character, because she's not. She's still a great character. But she's just counterplayed a lot more in higher ranks because people understand the cooldown usages. They understand how to counterplay this character. That being said, we'll say that she's decent. You know, you don't need to be an amazing Cloak and Dagger player, but it really goes to show if you do not play this character, you'll get ran over. Like there is not I'll just whip out Cloak and Dagger because you get, no, even Lords get ran over. Like, it is very hard to play Cloak and Dagger when you do not understand how to play the game at a high level, because you kind of got boosted by Cloak and Dagger. And that's not to take stabs at anybody, but we know that there's characters in this game that will have people climb because they're so strong. This is one of them. And you can tell someone who deserves to be there because they got there by learning everything, or one that just kind of got there because the character is strong or they played with someone and, you know, that's just not it. Next, we have Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, not even gonna talk much about him. Pretty much as I said before, he's like the most well-rounded character in this game, and a great solo character. So we're just gonna put him at S. Again, not much to talk about. Next, we have Emma Frost. So Emma Frost, I said that she was in C last time, but that's before people understood how to play her. Now we're in a rank where people do understand, and as she climbs, they're gonna understand how to play even more, and they understand the fundamentals and when to use things and whatnot. So now players have to be a little bit more aware about running into her. And again, a lot of the characters in this game before she came out could pretty much do what they want. You're not about to just run up to an Emma Frost and do what you want, which means that you have to adapt your playstyle. Otherwise, she will stun you and she'll blast you to her team. Then you're KO'd, right? So the fact that people understand how to do that and when to do that and how to play around her kit more because they understand the fundamentals of the game, this character is undoubtedly one of the best characters in the game. One of the best characters in the game. Now, I will say that it does require, you know what? We're not going to put her at S because that's unfair. It requires skill. You're not just about to slap Emma Frost into some random player and be like, hey, player in high rank, you win. No. She requires skill like Black Panther. But the better you get at her, just like the better you get at Black Panther, the more potent you will be and the more dangerous you will become. I don't want to put her at S because that's a lie. Her kit is strong, but you need to know how to use it, and that's kind of unfair because it's not intuitive. Next, we have Groot. When it comes to Groot, It's the same thing, the wall situation. It's forcing you to play outside of your comfort zone and play to the walls, and how do you get around playing it and all that extra good stuff. Why is that not working? There you go. Wait, what? Take? Oh, wait. Duh. I have to face the other way. But anyway, what was I saying? I forgot. It requires you to know how to play against this character. Like, you need to know the secrets to Groot and everything. And most people don't. They'll just walk straight into his trap and get exploded. You need to know how to play around walls. They're better at it in higher ranks, but higher rank Groots just do things that are so abnormal that even if you know how to play against a Groot, that Groot will pull something out you've never seen before, and it's like, it's like, what? What is this? Not to mention, he's really good at blocking heals, and in this game right now, heals are primarily used by Invisible Woman and Cloak and Dagger, maybe even Mantis, Loki. Characters that need to see you, Luna, they need to see you, and he makes it so that they can't. Very strong character. Next character that we have is Hawkeye. Love Hawkeye. Awesome character. Great character. Pretty much the same as Black Panther. Not going to talk too much about him. Better you are with him, the better he does. His kit is fantastic, but the thing is, it'll let you down if you don't know what you're doing. That's all. Next, we have Hela. Again, don't want to speak too much on it. It's pretty much similar to what I just said. There's a lot of ways to play these characters, and if you don't really know what you're doing, you're probably not going to do well. People that deserve to be in the doable category are people who are players, oh my god, heroes, who have a lackluster kit. The kit of the people in A is not lackluster. It's very good. It's just you need to be good at playing the character. The people in S have a kit that is so solid, even if you don't really understand the fundamentals of it too much, you will still do really well. And then obviously, if you main that character, you're going to destroy. So moving on to the Hulk next. So the Hulk actually kind of struggles in higher ranks, I'm not gonna lie. And the problem with him is that he's predictable. Like, you know when he's gonna jump on you, and then when he does it, everybody just kind of focuses him. So the Hulk's gonna have to play better in order for it to work. But he truly shines when he has his team ups. When he has his team ups, then that's when he like really gets to play the game, because there's a really high threats on his team. But for the most part, I think his kit is still solid, and I think a great Hulk still pops off without a doubt, and this is why he's still banned in high ranks. But I don't think he's S, because he still requires a lot of skill. He's not just gonna roll you over. So we're gonna put him in A. Pretty much the same exact thing. People just need to know how to play him properly. Next we have Johnny Storm. All right, this character, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm gonna put him at B. It's doable, but like, why? Unless you really, really love this character, there's not really a reason. He's really easy to avoid, and he's not a bad character by any means, but I just mean, you're gonna have to put a lot of effort in to make this character work, as I said before in that first tier list. And if you don't love the character, there's no reason for you to put that many hours into a character. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say that he just deserves to be in B. Next we have Invisible Woman. As I said before, the character is very strong. The same things that I said stick now. It's just players are more efficient at doing what it is that she does in this rank. So we're gonna pop her onto S. Very strong character, low cooldowns, a lot of utility. And when you climb to higher ranks, generally you can rely on your team a lot more. So utility is more valued than it is in lower ranks, where people tend to not really know what they're doing too much. Next we have Iron Fist. Where is he?
used to be a sword.
All right, so with Iron Fist,
So much more.
Iron Fist, I'm not even gonna talk on him too much. Iron Fist is pretty much the same. People will just know how to counter you at this point. Like, not counter you with characters, but just counter your playstyle. You're gonna have to know how to be a little bit more creative. Just like the rest of the people in A, it's like you have to know what you're doing to really pull them off, right? You're in a rank now where people are more coordinated. You're in a rank now where people understand the ins and outs of a lot of characters, which means you are gonna have to be a little bit more cognizant on how you decide to play your character. If you're playing him or her like you played him or her from bronze to diamond, you're gonna get ran over and you're not gonna have a good time and you're gonna think your character sucks. You're gonna need to adjust your play style and play according to the game itself, not even just to the rank, but to each match individually and each match up individually. Iron Fist is a really, really great character, but he's not just gonna roll over a team just because you're pressing a button. Not anymore. Old school Iron Fist did, but not anymore. Next character that we have is Iron Man. Iron Man's in the same position that he was last time. He's just very strong, very hard to deal with. The additional overshield with this is ridiculous, and then also the amount of ammo this character has when he does this ability is ridiculous, especially when he's in this form. As you see, he has unlimited ammo. So really, really ridiculous character, and they need to nerf this. If they can nerf this, I'm probably going to be happy about it. Everything else is all right. I think he can also potentially just straight up one-shot you if he does this in a closed space. So like if he decides to go somewhere in a tunnel and you're there and he does that, he'll one-shot you if you're a squishy character. So character is very, very solid. He has a lot of fuel too. They should probably reduce how much fuel this character has because he has a lot. I don't really know what they're gonna do with this character. They did buff him, so I'm pretty sure they have I'm pretty sure they have a direction that they want to take him, but they just want to buff him a little bit first to get him going. I'm pretty sure they have some plans to reduce his potency. Especially when he's teamed up, it's just unplayable sometimes. All right, now we have Jeff. So Jeff is in the same category as what I said before. In terms of like the only people that are a high ranked Jeff player are usually cheesers. There's not a lot of heal Jeff players, and so usually they'll just cheese and they'll get behind. If it doesn't work and the flank strat don't work, they're gonna just be useless and lose you the game. If it does work, you're gonna win the game. That's literally how this plays out. And the fact that that is what you're relying on, the inconsistency means that the character is really not that great. It doesn't really have in my opinion, it doesn't really have a clear direction on what needs to be done. Right? More often than not, when you're playing in higher ranks, especially when we're getting close to eternity and one above all, people are more coordinated in terms of target priority as well. Jeff doesn't heal enough should someone be caught out. You will be exploded. You would have to already have things set up so that way if they do get caught, they're golden. But like if some dude just got snatched up by like a Winter Soldier and like you need to like he's not surviving. Jeff can't do it. He doesn't really have a good way to do anything around walls or corners either. Again, you either cheese and it works, or people are too good to deal with that cheese, which happens a lot actually, especially once you get closer to eternity. It doesn't work, and then you just kind of lose with the Jeff on your team. It's unfortunate, but the Jeff players only know how to play Jeff and they don't want to swap it. Sometimes they do try to swap and they don't really know how to play another character, so you're kind of just stuck. In that regard though, I'm not going to say it's not worth, it's doable, but you're really going to need to learn how to get better at not playing just flank Jeff, but really playing heal Jeff properly. Very, very rarely I will run into a Jeff that is good at healing and flanking and fighting and all that, and that's a really good Jeff, but it takes so much practice to know how to find that balance that I don't think he deserves to be higher, because now we're going into the player territory rather than the we're going into the player territory rather than the, you know what? No, we're putting Jeff at not really worth playing. If you're a Jeff main, the better you get at him, the higher he goes. But again, we're getting too much into the player territory. We're just talking about the character specifically. The character specifically does not provide the player with enough to do well. You have to play out your mind. And that doesn't make a good character. Like I said, I wish he had a little bit more heals and less focus on damage. Next we have Loki. I don't really need to say anything. This character is broken. Like, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous character. I love him. All right, next character that we have is Luna Snow. Luna Snow is actually a really good character, especially played at high levels. When you're at a high level, you understand the fundamentals of playing support, which means you're not really going to be out of position too often. You're not going to have weird angles that you're taking that put you into threat. In Diamond, yeah, you will. Players haven't really developed everything too much, but by the time you get to like Grandmaster, players should be a little bit more understanding about how to position with Luna, especially once you start hitting Celestial. But the character provides a lot. I'm going to say that she's A, because her kit is really good, and you understand how to play the character by this point. Like, or not the character, but you understand how to play the role by this point, which means if you play Luna, if you play Invisible Woman, if you play Cloak and Dagger, your positioning should be relatively the same, and you don't have to go out your way to do it. The reason why she was lower in the other tier list was because she doesn't have a safety net. There is no safety net for Luna. You are out of position, you're probably going to get KO'd. Invisible Woman has a safety net. Cloak and Dagger has a safety net. At this point, you don't really need a safety net because you know what's good and what's bad, more or less. So, and as you get better and climb, it's going to be even more, you're going to understand more what's good and what's bad, and then, you know, progressively she just becomes a better character over time. The next character that we have is going to be Magik. I hate this character. Not much to say. She's broken, but I'm also not biased. She is definitely not as good as she is in lower ranks. People understand what to do to deal with this character. Although I will note, you know what? Forget that. This character's stupid. Putting her there. I was gonna say something, but I do know that I had to ban this character all the way until eternity because this character people did not know how to deal with. This character is super strong. And so if more than half of your climb is going to be most likely prohibited by Magik, I think she deserves to be an S at this point. She's a very strong character. I tried, but let's be honest, this character is just dumb. Next character that we have is Magneto. When it comes to Magneto, very strong character. Without a doubt, one of the best tanks in the game. I'm not going to say much about it. By this point, you understand how to play tank. You're not as passive as you would be if you were in a lower rank because you understand the difference between dive tank, poke tanks, shield tanks, you know, all these other subcategories of tanks that you might want to put these characters in. You understand their movement. You understand how to go through the map. You understand how to take fights. You understand how to use your ultimate defensively as well as offensively. All these things that you learn at the fundamental base level, you understand how to do, which makes this character rise exponentially to easily being one of the best characters in the game. And this is just something that he doesn't teach you, which is why in the other list I had him lower. Magneto doesn't have an inherent way to play the character. You don't just load up Magneto and be like, okay, this button is for, you got to do it this time, this button is at this time, and it's not as straightforward as like Doctor Strange. I smack you a few times, I walk up and I explode. Boom. That's how you play Strange. Like, so the fact that it's not intuitive means that he's lower. But here you understand how to play the game now. He is a great character. Moving on to Mantis. Mantis's high rank is actually kind of nasty. So she still struggles. She still struggles in high rank because people sometimes really don't follow that you need to play a little bit slower with this character. However, once you start getting to Celestial, players start paying attention more about what their team is picking and how you play with that character. A lot of people in Diamond and Grandmaster are very selfish, but once you hit a certain threshold, no matter if it's on PC or console, people stop being selfish and start being more selfless. They understand you're picking Mantis. Okay, let me wait for me to get my little boost. Let me wait for me to get my dot on real quick, and then they'll play the game. Same thing for Cloak and Dagger or Adam Warlock or like Luna Snow. Like, these players know that I can't play the game until you let me play the game, so I'm gonna chill out and wait for a second. This prevents staggers. The fact that Mantis also just does a freak ton of damage and has no fall off damage as well makes this character even better, and she has a sleep. Really great character, especially at high ranks when you already understand how to play fundamentally, and your aiming should just be better in general. Put her at A for sure. She would be a S if her heals were better, but they're not, so we have to put her at A. Next, we have Mr. Fantastic. Where is this guy?
My invention.
Not gonna say too much, to be honest.
But the best thing I ever built was my family.
Dude is just really versatile and extremely good. The better you get at this character, the stronger he is. Definitely an S tier character, in my opinion. Next, we have Moon Knight. When it comes to Moon Knight in higher ranks, this is where players really become more aware about destroying the Ankh. When you get to a really high rank, people don't even fight until you use it. And then now you're out the fight for, I think it's 8 to 9 seconds after they destroy it. You can still do damage by hitting people in front of you, but there's a lot of fall off damage. And so unless you are throwing it into a group of people, you're not really accomplishing much when it comes to doing damage unless you get criticals. You see how much damage I'm doing on one target, and that's really hard to hit from this far away. If you're any closer, you probably are going to get smacked by Spider-Man or Black Panther or someone else that's a melee character or looking to snipe you out. He has a lot of more weaknesses than he does strengths, but it doesn't mean he's useless. It just means there's kind of he's kind of one of those characters that have a place and time to be used. I don't really think he can be used at all times unless you just really love the character. And if you really love the character, you're going to have to be really good at the character. Because again, there's a lot more weaknesses than strengths to this character. Some characters have more of an equal strengths to weaknesses type of synergy, but some characters have more of a weakness to strengths, and some characters have more strengths to weakness. This is one of those characters that have more weakness to strengths, and it's just not something I think you could play every game. I still think the character is good, don't get me wrong, but you do have to keep in mind if the players are better than you, or at least are aware about how you're throwing your Ankhs repeatedly, or they just block your Ankh path, you're just not a character anymore. All it takes is for Doctor Strange to just shield and walk in front of it while his team takes out the Ankh. Then what do? Nothing. So again, time and a place for everything when it comes to this character. But in higher ranks, it's just a lot harder to pull him off. He's not bad. He's not bad. Players are just good. All right. Next, we have Namor. Moon Knight is great against dives, but it's only great against dives that aren't onto him. If a Spider-Man dives Moon Knight loses. Like, Moon Knight doesn't win against dives unless it's I'm helping my teammate more often than not. Because usually when you dive a Moon Knight, you're doing it when his Ankh is down, which means he loses, or you're doing it without him noticing, which means that he doesn't have any time to prepare for you. That's what makes Moon Knight strong, is he can prepare for you, and then you're playing in his zone. But if you catch him by surprise, it's hard for him to do all of that all at once before you take him out, because you caught him by surprise. So it's really what it comes down to. He doesn't like moving or repositioning or doing things at sporadic moments. Namor, not really much to say. Character's broken. We're just gonna move on from here, to be fair. As I said before, if they need to remove the splash from this, and then they also need to make it so that if I were to peek a squid, it's not gonna start shooting me, even though Namor is looking this way. If I pop out here while he's looking forward, there's no way that he should be alerted that I'm behind him and I'm taking 50 damage to 100 damage just taking out the freaking squid. Makes no sense. That needs to go. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but it needs to go. Next, we have Peni. Obviously one of my main tanks, you guys know this. So before, when it came to Peni, its players didn't really know how to deal with her in lower ranks, and so this is why she got away with a lot of crazy things. But once you get to a higher rank and people know that you needed to destroy the nest, you're gonna notice a lot of mag players, if you put it in weird spots, they're just gonna put their shield on and then blow it up and then just like walk away. A lot of players are gonna know exactly how to deal with their nest. And so when you're playing her in higher rank, you're gonna have to be more observant, and you're gonna have to remove it and place it down more frequently. You're also going to need to know how to stretch out your webbing more often. You're also going to need to know how to actually play the gunfight. You're also going to need to know how to reposition every few seconds, because if you get dove, especially if they take out your nest at the same exact time that they dive you, you're gonna probably like not survive. So it takes a lot of finesse. It's doable. I will say with teams that are uncoordinated, she actually works really well. But once you get closer to Eternity or One Above All, people don't play like that anymore. They will definitely just wait for someone to destroy it, and then they'll just all walk in together. So you have to be more aware about who's getting ready to target, who's going to destroy it, because once it's gone, and you're just useless at this point. There's more creative ways to not be useless, of course, but just like at a basic level standpoint, no matter what they do with this character, that nest is her lifeline. And should that nest be taken out, then I mean, at that point, you just don't have a character anymore. So it's up to Peni to play well out of her mind. I'm gonna say that it's doable. It's like Moon Knight. So, you know, sometimes you're really good and sometimes you're not, and then other times you're just kind of like, eh. Right place, right time type of character. You can spam her, don't get me wrong, but you probably won't get that far in super high ranks because she doesn't work in all situations. When you get to a rank that's really high, like Eternity, One Above All, I'll even say Celestial, honestly, you're required at that point to swap to what benefits the situation. You might not know 10 characters, you might know 3, but out of the 3 characters that you know, you need to swap to the one that best fits that situation, or you will lose games. Peni is not good in every situation. As an example, if you get ran over, I'll go back to her just in case people are like wondering when they skip through. When you get ran over, let's just say, you know that map, that Venom map, the symbiote map, where you have like the boxes there and then like the tunnels over there, and then like, you know what I'm talking about. The one where you escort like that black blob. Well, if they break this and run you over, you lose this fight, and now you have to like try to reposition into the tunnel area once you start escorting it, and you're just getting pushed back and ran over. And in high ranks, there's something called a snowball effect. When they win one fight, they can extend that snowball effect, winning the next one and the next one and the next one. If Peni cannot put her stuff down and set up, she is useless. If they snowball and they do it correctly, which happens 9 times out of 10 of the time, especially in high ranks, you can't do it. You can't set up. This is exactly why Moon Knight's not that great all the time. If the team can start snowballing and rolling your team, and you don't have time to say, okay, let me put the nest there, let me put this there, let me do this. If you don't got enough time to do that, you're gonna just lose. And this is why a lot of Peni players I really don't like playing with, because they don't know when to switch. If you are in a high rank like that, and I'm gonna say Celestial Plus, it is kind of your obligation to swap to whatever character you know that better fits the situation. Otherwise, you are straight up just gonna lose the game, because you're in a rank at that point where people are actually smart in terms of their game sense and understanding of how to deal with each character. And if they have characters that do it really well, and you're just intentionally losing the game because you don't want to swap, it's kind of wild. But again, that's a rank that not many people achieve, and that's a sweat rank. So if you like really want to sweat, you should understand you should be swapping characters. Let's be honest. If you're not a sweat, you can climb to Diamond or Grandmaster, maybe even reach Celestial. But like after that, you need to start swapping because you're in a sweat rank now, and that's not gonna fly just sticking to one character. You'll start deranking. All right, next we got Psylocke. At this point, this character is actually really good. She's as good as a character, as good as the player is. You understand how to play Psylocke if you play Psylocke in this rank, and you understand how to play DPS if you're a DPS player. Very solid character, very good at flanking. Her ult just auto wins fights if you do it properly. I love having a Psylocke on my team every single time. Pair her with Magik, then you have that teleport. Actually, she doesn't have it with Magik anymore, huh? Only Black Panther does. Pair her with Emma Frost. It's even better. Like, she's solid. She's solid. It just requires a lot of work, but she's very flexible. Next, we have Rocket. Clintar? Yeah, you're right. Clintar. Hey, don't yell at me. Minor? Yeah. I was getting caught up with it. All right. Next, we have Rocket. So with Rocket, Again, the buffs make him fantastic. He was already a good pick in high rank anyway, because a lot of the things that people value in high rank is utility. Tanks know how to play the game. DPS players know how to play the game. They don't need a carry support to help them win the game. They are good. They need a utility support to help them win the game. And so being able to have a Spider-Man on your team that you know is going to just run it down, you let them fly in, oh, I die, and then they respawn, and it's kind of like, yeah, did you learn your lesson? Good. Get back on the map and don't do that again, because that was awful. Like, having the ability to do something like that, and especially a high rank game, it's insane. Then you just pack in the fact that you can heal from extremely far away, and then he has a new ultimate that not only buffs damage, but now also gives the buff to the overshield. Plus you're able to heal through this, meaning that they should be full HP almost all the time. Then you could fight with them. Way better character. Way better character. Solid character. Solid character. So just going to be going to S. He was already S last time, but we're putting him at S again, of course. But now he's much more viable and not as much of a meme pick. People used to think if you play Rocket, you just suck at the game and getting carried, which was not true. But now it's even more so not true. All right, next we got Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch in high rank is interesting because you don't see high rank Scarlet Witches unless they're lords. Like, it's very rare to see a non-lord Scarlet Witch unless it's specifically called for. So, like, as an example, if I see a Cap or something on Spider-Man, what I'll do is I'll play her just to stop them from ruining my backline, because it's like you can't really do anything against this. But aside from that, I don't play her. But I do know that she's a really good character. And Lord Wanda's, no. She's just not my style, but I do like her a lot. I would definitely lord this character if I liked her more. She's not, I don't dislike her, but you know, I want that love click. She doesn't give me that love connection that I want. I want that love connection. But I think she's solid. Like I said, I whip her out on my main quite frequently, especially when dealing with characters that are just really fast. Very good 1v1 character, very good flank character, very good at dealing with flying characters. She's really versatile. I'm gonna say that her ult requires some finesse, so I'm gonna put her at A. I think she's S, but the thing is, you have to get better at her and she'll treat you right. You're not just about to just hop on her and not know what you're doing and she's gonna treat you right. She's like Black Panther or all these other characters in A. You just gotta be really good and they'll treat you right. That's all. All right, next we have Spider-Man. So Spider-Man, this is where we get to the point where people are like, poppin'. Spider-Man is weak. Poppin'. Spider-Man is bad. And you notice that you'll hear it coming from a lot more high-ranked players, because high-ranked players know how to deal with Spider-Man more. But remember what I said, when people climb with really funky ways, getting away with whatever they want to, when they're not getting away with it anymore, they assume it's because the character's bad and it doesn't work. And it's not necessarily that. It's the player doesn't adapt to the situation. Again, I think that Spider-Man really only needs to come in every once in a while, do what he does, and dip out. And the crazy part about it is Spider-Man is actually really good in high ranks because the player is extremely good. Nobody plays Spider-Man in high ranks unless you're a Lord. And Lord players are disgusting. They are so good at Spider-Man, it's insane. Like, hats off to them, because it does take a lot of finesse to get good at this character. Like, really good at this character. But I will say, the better you are, the better results you're gonna have. I think if Spider-Man just learned to be a little bit more patient, they'd actually carry a lot more games. So, in my opinion, character is still super mega strong. And the reason is because he has a lot of versatility in his kit. He doesn't have to play the game normally, and that's what makes Spider-Man busted. It's not his damage, but it's just how he can play the game the way he wants to play the game. And that's what makes that character very, very strong. The next character that we're having is Star-Lord. Not really much to talk about here. Star-Lord is one of those characters that are just very obvious, and you'll easily understand what he's doing and why, and you can counter it. If he... Usually Star-Lord's play the exact same. And it's funny because I actually caught myself doing this when I first started climbing to like Grandmaster. I caught myself doing this. I started to realize whenever I wanted to ult, I would just like try to find a flank backline and then go really high and then pop it. And I would do that, and I'd get countered a lot of the times. And I started to learn. And I was like, you know what? When I play against Star-Lord, they all do the same thing. And so that's when I became a little bit more, this is why it's important to always play the game and think about why you're doing what you're doing, because you can adapt on the fly and that can transfer to other characters. So I realized that I was playing in a scripted way. Once it started to be a little bit less scripted, I started to be able to win my games a lot more. And this is a character I even play in Eternity. I love this character. Not like super love, but I love the character for what he brings to the table. I still want a character that I fall in love with, but the one thing that makes this character not S is the fact that you can counterplay this character. That's all. If you couldn't counterplay this character, there'd be a different story. But whenever he decides to ult, Doctor Strange can just shield it. You can go inside of a building. You could shoot him out the sky. Like, he doesn't really just get away with it. If he decides to go for a flank approach, again, you can shut out 1v1 this guy. He doesn't always win. The only thing that's annoying that he does is when he just comes in and does this. It's really hard to deal with this, but the cooldown is so high that he has to try to fight or just run away and then come back and do it again. Not many Star-Lord players know how to fight with Star-Lord. They just know how to ult with him. So if you counter the ult, the character's not that great. So it is a player thing. I'm gonna put him at A. I hope that Blade is gonna be that guy. When they drop Blade or even Ultron, I hope that they're gonna be the characters that I really, really love. That's what I want. All right, next is Storm. So players have way better aim now. However, Storm is still extremely strong. Like there's no doubt. That's the same thing as remaining. You farm ult, you ult. The fact that you can boost your team and give them bonus damage is also insane. The fact that people that come under you will get electrical shocked whenever you're around is insane. You can stop a lot of dives this way. Very strong character, especially when it comes to dealing with things like Spider-Man and, you know, all those other nasty characters that tend to get on the back line of your team. Always will be an S tier unless they just do something strange and change her. Squirrel Girl. When it comes to Squirrel Girl, for the most part, I think she's still kind of the same. She's still really, really strong. But I will say her dual potential is not that great if they're in her face and the player is really having a hard time aiming. Like, also if Doctor Strange just puts a shield up or Groot puts a wall up, like there's a way to render her useless. But I still want to say that's not enough to pop her down. So we're gonna keep her at S. Next we have Punisher. Where is he? Punisher in high rank is super solid. Like, he is super solid. You know how to aim by this point. The dude's versatility is insane. Like, he is super good. Rocket, super good. Just camping is super good. Character is busted. Like, in a good way. He's really good, but he's balanced in my opinion, but he's super annoying to play against. So it's kind of like one of those like catch-22 situations. All right, next we have the Thing. Again, pretty solid character, very easy to play. Very necessary in high rank scenarios because of the dive characters and because of the much needed reduced damage from people being able to know how to aim properly. Being able to disrupt is something that's huge and massive because a lot of players like to now camp angles and hide in angles and stuff like this. And like, you know, use cover. So if you can just run in there and kind of knock them out of their cover and run back to your team or something like that, you're able to put a lot of strain on their back line or on their front line if you need to run through them. Very solid character for breaching. Defense is kind of iffy, but he's still pretty solid at it. We're gonna put him at S. Great character. Next we have Thor. So Thor kind of falls into the line of all the other characters that are in A. And that is he could be stopped. All it takes is for everybody to focus him and he's done. Which is why you don't really see Thors that much in high rank unless they just really love Thor. Because it's really not that hard to deal with them once you're like in Eternity. or one above all. People are on comms by that point, and even if you're not, Thor is just one-dimensional. Most Thor players, 99% of them, are going to do the same exact thing over and over and over again. If you see one Thor, you've seen them all. Therefore, it becomes very easy to deal with that character. You got to spice it up. So I think with that, he deserves to be an A. Next, we have Venom. Venom. Venom is gnarly. All right, so we know that Venom was lower ranked in the bronze to diamond list because players didn't understand the fundamentals of the character. But we're in a rank now where people understand how to play, or not the fundamentals of the character, but the fundamentals of the game. We're in a rank now where people understand how to play the game properly. This character, without a doubt, is an S tier character. He is so good, like so good, but you're gonna need to know how to play the character. But again, you should know how to play dive characters by this point if you play dive characters. So just kind of keep that in mind. He's not just a slap on, I'm diamond, I'll slap it on. But because a lot of the players in Diamond Plus generally have the same type of playstyle of like long range and just hiding in little spots, having a character that can just go up and snatch someone out of their hiding spot real quick and just fight them and be annoying, and everybody's focusing on you because now you're in the hiding spot, and when you get low you just flip and fly away, and it's like, yeah, I distracted you for 5 to 10 seconds, bro, what's up? Or potentially just get the KO yourself. And then if they happen to be lumped up together, arguably it is harder to do it in higher ranks, but if they happen to be lumped up together and you're doing your thing and then you just do the combo that like pops them, again, very free, very easy. Very solid character. Sometimes I still swap because he is pretty slow on the ground, but you're gonna just need to learn how to play with it, wiggle room it, and he's a great character. Next character is Winter Soldier. So that nerf didn't really do anything to the Winter Soldier mains, I think, in my opinion. Character is still really strong. By this point, you know how to aim. Even if you're not a Winter Soldier one trick, this character is just busted. So we're putting him at an S. Last but not least, we have Wolverine. Without a doubt, character is strong. Nothing to really say here. Very strong, hard to deal with. Displaces people. Really strong. Goes to S without a doubt. So this is the Diamond Plus solo tier list. If you guys enjoy these separate, because I did this before in season 1, I made 2 different videos. Then season 1.5, I made a stream. Then obviously season 2, I'm doing the same thing while also streaming it at the same time. So if you guys enjoy the high rank and low rank tier list, as you see, the characters are placed in different sections because that's how that works. If you guys enjoy that, let me know and I can keep doing that. But this will be the tier list for 2.0. So if you are a bronze diamond player, check that part out. If you are a diamond plus player, obviously check this section out. Obviously we all have different point of views though. I'm not saying what I'm saying is the end all be all. Nobody's tier list is 100% accurate because tier lists are literally just point of views. They're not stat based and objective based, but based off of how many accounts I've climbed and playing a lot of solo characters and not ever talking to anybody and stuff like that, I feel like this is my experience with these characters, and this is generally what you're gonna get if you decide to start playing them. Oh, this is Diamond Plus? Yeah, it's Diamond Plus. She literally gets gapped? Who? Squirrel Girl? By Hela and Hawkeye? No, Squirrel Girl counters Hela and Hawkeye, if that's what you're talking about. What? What, my friend? That's a long tier list. Holy moly. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't ignoring you guys. I was semi-reading it, but I just wanted to get through the list because we were doing it 2 times and I didn't want to have an extremely long stream. It's still pretty long. I think I'd gone through too much explaining in that first half, but I just didn't want an extremely long stream for people who maybe just want to come by and, you know, just see what it's about, basically. So. Squirrel Girl counters Hela and Hawkeye. You're nuts, dude. Grenade launchers literally counter snipers. The point is to get them out of hiding spots. Wait, huh? Who are we talking about here? You're crazy if you don't think that. It's so obvious that that's what happens. It's so obvious. There's no way that Squirrel Girl is countered by those characters. Bro, if there's a Hawkeye chilling right here, popping your team, that's kind of an odd spot. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's no map that's like made like this because this doesn't make any sense. So I can't really use that as an example. But yeah, there's not really a lot of good spots. This is kind of bad. I guess this is okay. If there's someone over there and it's a Hawkeye, just light him up. You don't even need to be seen. And he can't snipe from that shot. Or his Hela can't snipe from that shot. You're crazy. You're crazy. This is like the #1 counter to those characters. Literally, her design is to move people out of the position. It's to create space.
No, our fans are gonna be so mad at me.
I'm not downplaying anything. I play Squirrel Girl into those characters. What you mean? What? You know I play at these ranks. I'm not just talking out my butt. I'm literally going off of experience of climbing multiple accounts. I play a lot more, obviously, because I cover the game, than like most people would probably play in their lives. There's a lot of hours racked up on multiple accounts, bro. Trust me. If I ever make any tier list, even if I'm wrong, I 1000% believe that what I'm saying is right. That makes sense. That didn't really come out right. I believe in what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's right, but I 1000% believe in what I'm saying. I'm not just randomly putting out information. She's just that good. She's very good at getting people out of their spaces. And also as a Hawkeye and Hela player, well, I play Hawkeye more now than I played Hela, but I did play Hela quite a bit last season. But I love Hawkeye now. That's a character that's a problem to deal with. I will say though, she's a little bit more effective in some areas than others. She's not always effective, but most of the time she's effective. Usually the counter to Squirrel Girl is just dabbing her, from my experience. Poppin' is always right. No, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, usually if you're playing in Eternity or like one above all, even Celestial, people who play their characters are generally 1 tricks or 2 tricks. They're not just like random Joe Blows picking random characters. They play their character. So an argument of saying one character, like saying Hawkeye, good Hela players will beat a Squirrel Girl. Well, good Squirrel Girl players would beat a good Hela player. It's still in the advantage of Squirrel Girl, no matter how you spin that like yarn. You know what I mean? If Squirrel Girl has an advantage of 5 over Hela, and they're equal playing, and they're both 1 tricks, doesn't matter. That has to be a smurfing Hela, and then that's where that advantage tips more into their favor. But obviously we're not talking about smurfs, we're talking about people in the ranks that they deserve to be in. But again, like I said, I'm not saying I'm 100% right about my stuff. This is just my take and my experience, just like I always say. And of course, everybody play what characters you want to play. It's meant to have fun, it's meant to enjoy yourself. Don't take tier lists too seriously. I just do them because a lot of people ask me what characters they should learn each season. And so just doing a tier list kind of helps them pick and choose like what characters might be best for that individual. Dude, Squirrel Girl on Clintar? Yes, that is disgusting. I hate it so much. And on that one map, the new one, the Central Park map. Disgusting. But yeah, anyway, as I said, I wasn't ignoring you guys. I just wanted to get through the tier list because there was a lot. If you guys enjoyed it, again, remember to like it so that I know to do it next time. If you guys would just like one list, the thing about when I do one list, it seems like a lot of you guys tend to, even though I explain the thought process, not you guys, but I'm just speaking like in general. A lot of you guys I'll say people, because I don't really like that. It seems like I'm attacking you guys, and I'm not. A lot of people don't understand what I'm saying when I explain the placements because they play at different levels. And so they're like confused on why things are in certain spots. But when I break them like this, it's easy to see why this works in these ranks and why this works in these ranks. It's undoubtedly a little bit more work, but it's a little bit more clarification on kind of my thought process there. So that's why I said, if you like this, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up so that I know you like it. I was supposed to stream yesterday and I didn't. I'm a troll. Tomorrow, there should be some content coming out tomorrow. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna do the reviews tomorrow. If you want your game reviews, check out the recent breakdown. Put your review code there. I can give you some free reviews. But it's gonna be either that or a guide tomorrow, because I want to talk about something tomorrow, so I'm not sure. But yeah, anybody have any last minute questions or anything you want to ask about either or tier list? I wish I took a screenshot or something so I could show both tier lists at the same time. But any of you guys got any questions, comments, or concerns about anything that I might have missed and I didn't get your answer on? I don't mind doing any more clarification or answering anything before I step off. I think everything is pretty solid. I know people can't stand the Spider-Man placement that I do for every single tier list, bro, but y'all not switching me. I'm gonna always get that Spider-Man comment. Spider-Man and else? What you mean? Boy, put Spider-Man in an F. You're like, there is no F. Exactly. Why does Spider-Man players sound like that? That's not what Spider-Man players sound like. Yeah, we all sound like them. I don't even know what that is. What is that voice? Oh my god. I'm stupid. I'm super stupid.
They don't look friendly.
Do you think the Black Panther bug impacts his placements in your list? I haven't ran into any bugs. But you have to tell me what bug it is. What bug are you talking about? Because I might have ran into it and I might have just thought it was me messing up when it was a bug. But what bug are you talking about? How is Iron Man S tier? The simple fact that people can't aim in this game yet. The thing is, this game is a casual game and it's a third-person game. So people don't generally have great FPS skills. So realistically, they're forced to swap, but not a lot of people want to swap from the characters. And the character is just very strong anyway. He has unlimited ammo. He has an overshield now. He has a lot of fuel. He does a lot of damage, especially when you pair it with the Hulk. And then once again, it's the fact that people just have a hard time taking him out of the sky. But that is from team to team basis. But based off my experience, more often than not, Iron Man kind of just gets some free wins because he's Iron Man. Like, the guy can straight out 1v1 now with that overshield. It doesn't matter what character you are. He'll just put that thing on and just 1v1 you. Southern Spidey players at it again. Spiders. Y'all not right. What do you mean can't aim? Wait, what? I encourage you to go to like the leaderboard and just find a game with an Iron Man in it and you'll watch it and you'll see what I mean. The character has a really good dueling potential, hard to get out and like hard to chase, and on top of that, just hard to take out in general. Like, just being in the air makes you hard to deal with. It's kind of like Overwatch with Farah. It's like that character's just ugh. You're relying on like your DPS to take that character out the sky most of the time. And if they can't do it, you're relying on your support. And if they can't do it, you probably just lose the game. His dash is a hit register bug where it will make the hit sound, but won't refresh the cooldown. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm gonna say though, it could possibly be a PC bug, not a console bug, but I'm not 1000% sure. What I've seen is it didn't do any damage. But I will pay more attention to that and I'll get back at you if I find out the difference. but it's possible that it's not. It's possible that it's not a console thing. I scrolled back and wonder why Adam was an A tier. He was actually an S tier. High street cred for Lorix, only to realize it was due to super chat. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, I had to put that dude in super low tier, but they were like popping. You gotta fit it to S tier. I was like, all right. But anywho, that is the tier list, guys. If you guys got any questions or any comments, of course, let me know in the description below or the comment section below, or come to our Discord. We still be chatting and hanging out, so we have a lot of, we help each other and chat in there. If you got any questions about maybe specific gameplay strats or anything like that, hop into that Discord. As I said before, if you want free reviews, make sure you go to my channel and check out the breakdown. If you comment under the most recent breakdown, I do them every week. If you comment under the most recent one with your replay, you can get a free replay review from there. So make sure you check that out if that is something that you guys want to do. But this was a great stream. I really enjoyed it. Zoel, thank you for the super chat. Members, thank you for being here. Obviously, thank you for being a member. I try to talk to everyone, but again, I wanted to just get through the tier list. So anybody who felt like they were ignored, or anybody who felt like I wasn't paying attention to chat, I just didn't want to stop the thought process because I didn't want to have a whole fragmented tier list. That's probably what's going to happen if I continue to do tier lists live like this. However, when I'm doing anything else live, I will always comment and you know, hang out and chat with you guys. Obviously, maybe I'll figure out a better way to integrate your conversation into the tier list at the same time without like making it fragmented, because it is still a video at that point too. People are going to still watch it after I'm done streaming it, and I didn't want it to be all fragmented and chaotic. So that's what was happening. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Peace out. Lawrence, thank you. Cloudy Crow, Rengar, Al, Manon, Fedor, hello, thank you for being here. High Street Cred, Puka, KP, thank you guys for being here. Vincent, of course, again, thank you for being here. Boulder Bear, thank you for being here. Miriam, thanks for being here. Kazi, thank you for being here. I didn't even know Kazi stopped by, dude. Holy, my bad, Kazi. It's your boy Kazi. Thank you for being here. Yeah, thank you guys for being here. I'll talk to you guys later. It was a pleasure streaming for you guys. I'll try to stream at least 2 times a week. If I stream more, I'll let you guys know in my Discord, obviously, and I'll post it. But for the most part, it will be at minimum 2 times a week. That is my goal. Oh yeah, and Dreadhead, you were here as well. Thank you for being here. Crazy Squirrel Girl S tier. Oh my God, Puka, get out of here! Get out of here! You're your little penny spamming self. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. Until next time, you know what I always say. Think you guys are doing what? Popping often. We're locked in. Peace out, guys.